As Ernie Banks once said, Chicago Cubs legend, let's play too, and that's what the Thunderbolts are going to do here today. They will host the Southern Maryland Senators for a doubleheader here at Montgomery Place Baseball Stadium. I'm Patrick Moran, joined alongside Peter Kelly, and the Southern Maryland Senators team, they are ranked number 2 in the weekly power rankings in the league, so the Thunderbolts are going to have their hands full today.
Yeah, not a lot of teams in this league that are better than the Southern Maryland Senators, in particular as of late. Southern Maryland went on a 6-game win streak that propelled them to the top of the South Division, and they have held on to that position, although they've actually been better this year against the North Division, 6-2 against those 4 teams in the North grouping, one of those being the Thunderbolts. These two have faced once already this year, and the Senators were able to pull it out, down 6-0 at one point, but ended up walking it off down in Southern Maryland. It'll be a fun matchup today for the second and then third time around. Game 1 was supposed to start at 4:30. We're a little bit behind, and then Game 2 is scheduled start of 7, although there is some rain in the forecast that we're hoping will hold off.
And of course, you mentioned that time that the Senators and T-Bolts faced off. T-Bolts got walked off 7-6, the final score in that one when they were on the road. And now they are in the friendly confines here in Silver Spring, Tacoma. And we'll bring you the starting lineups here today. So for the Southern Maryland Senators, it'll be Chase Fulford leading things off at shortstop, Braylon Gonzalez in right field in the 2 spot, James Carlson hitting third in center field, Zachary Anderson will be doing the catching and hitting cleanup, Cole Rame will be at second base hitting behind him in the 5-hole, Jackson Hayes at first base, he'll be hitting 6th. Joey Todd will be hitting 7th as the DH. Jack Ewart will be at 3rd, hitting 8th. And then Josh Saronis rounding out this order in the 9 spot in left field. The defensive alignment for the T-Bolts here in this one, from left to right, it is Cameron Baker, Gabe Pagis, and Griffin Puval. And then around the horn in the infield, it is Sam Camacho Jr. locking down the hot corner. Jonah Acosta at shortstop. It'll be Matthew Kim at second and Connor Fricky at first. The pitching and catching tandem here in this one will be Kai Schmelzer behind the plate and Griffin Roussel on the mound for the T-Bolts.
Yeah, a lot of changes to the lineup today. Last night was one of the toughest offensive nights for the T-Bolts all season, recording just 3 hits, and one of them was in the infield against a very talented Only Crop Dusters team that got their 15th win of the year last night. That was the first team in the Ripken League to reach that milestone. Just felt like a night where the T-Bolts were pretty stale, but it's another day and it's another chance, and the good news about today is if the first game doesn't go well, there's always game number 2. So it'll be fun to see how the T-Bolts can respond after last night. We know they have had doubleheaders before this season, and they've usually gotten at least one of those games on those occasions. So I'm looking forward to see how Roussel starts things off and then how the T-Bolts offense can get going in general.
Yeah, Roussel, the Ellicott City native for the T-Bolts. He has appeared in 4 games so far, 2 of which were starts, and he's gone 0-2 in 11 2/3 innings, but he's got 9 punch-outs on the season. His last time out on the mound was at the Alexandria Aces on June 20th. He went 3 2/3, allowing 6 hits, 5 runs in that one with no strikeouts. So hoping to bounce back and give the T-Bolts some length. They are in a tough stretch. They've had some starters with short leashes. They've had to dig into that bullpen quite a bit. So I'm sure with Roussel going 3 2/3 his last time out, the T-Bolts would love for him to get to 4 complete innings or maybe even 5.
Yeah, exactly the same situation that Roussel was in a week ago today. They had a scheduled doubleheader at Alexandria, and Roussel started game 1 of that twin killing against the Aces, a game that the T-Bolts eventually won, but Roussel had a rough outing. He was really good through his first 3 appearances, giving up just 4 earned runs over his first 8 innings, but like you mentioned, that June 20th game a little bit rough. We'll see if he can control this Senators team that comes in a little bit shorthanded, battling a couple injuries, but are riding a really solid month of June as they try to keep that momentum going into the dog days.
And of course, I don't know if it's surprising to you, Peter, but Bud Coombs not in the lineup, who's recently named hitter of the week, as that is swung on and missed by Chase Fulford to start the day.
Yeah, hopefully everything's okay there with Coombs. It seems like if he's healthy, he's been in the lineup.
That'll be hit out to right field, and that will be a single. So Fulford getting things started off on the right foot for the Southern Maryland Senators as they look to keep the winning times going.
And keep an eye on Fulford over there at first base. He leads the Senators with 13 stolen bases. That's towards the top of the Ripken League. He's only been caught once, and guys have been running all over T-Bolt's catcher, Kai Schmelzer. He's only caught one runner in 36 tries.
A pitch from Roussel in the dirt. For ball one to Braylon Gonzalez. Roussel gives a look over to first, not in time. And they're going to run on Schmelzer, and he did not get him. He is safe. Really nice job there by Chase Fulford to slide in. And Peter, you're talking about the statistics on Schmelzer behind the plate in the stolen base department. Right on cue, Fulford takes a base. That is in there for strike one.
Yeah, wasting absolutely no time. Going on the second pitch, he's able to, and now draws even with Jonah Acosta for the league lead in stolen bases at 14. Those two about 10 feet apart from each other right now. Acosta, the T-Bolt shortstop.
That will be poked into left field, and it will go foul. Cam Baker gave it a look, but went to the left side of the bag. That would have been a bloop single from Gonzalez, who is coming out of Binghamton University with the Bearcats. Up in the state of New York. He's going to be a rising junior this year. He will take a ball just outside. Ball kind of popped out of Schmelzer's mitt there. Him and Roussel had to cover it up. Make sure that the runner on second did not go any further. Gonzalez had a really good 2026, hitting .272 in 42 games. He swings and misses. Schmelzer's throw is not in time, but the T-Bolts do pick up an out on a swing and a miss K for Griffin Roussel. Next man up will be James Carlson, out in center field today. He waits on the first pitch, and that will be over to Camacho, who picks it up on a hop, fires onto first, and picks up out number two.
Now batting number 20 from Binghamton University.
Nice job there from Camacho. The defense has only gotten better as the season has gone on. For him, he's also seen some time at first, but he's been the primary third baseman. So the Southern Maryland Senators are on the board 1-0. And Zachary Anderson will hit that one into left field for a two-out base hit.
Senators wasting zero time here. Only 10 pitches for Griffin Roussel, and he's already going to face his fifth batter of the game. We've already seen so much. Pair of stolen bases, a run on the board, and that hit the second of the inning. Just the top of the first still, and only 5 minutes down in this one.
So it'll be Cole Rame's turn. Again, the start at second today, a Richmond Spider in the Atlantic 10 Conference. He's got a teammate on the other side in Christian Dre, who's been one of the standout arms for the T-Bolts. The 0-1. In there for strike two. Purcell makes another pickoff attempt. No good. That pitch will just miss. Schmelzer tried to present it as best he could. Not able to get the backwards K on that pitch. So we'll do it again. Purcell will also throw over to first again. That'll be tapped over to third. A high hop for Camacho. He picks it up close to the sky, and he fires on to first once again for his second assist of the inning. T-Bolts do allow a run, though. It is 1-0 Southern Maryland Senators, and the T-Bolts will look to get that run back in the bottom of the first.
United Therapeutics in Silver Spring develops pharmaceuticals and technologies that help patients in need of organ transplantation. United Therapeutics is guided by the principles of always striving to do the right thing and relentlessly pushing to always do better. As a result, the company was included among America's best companies by Forbes magazine. United Therapeutics in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grubb Road in Silver Spring has been dishing up deli classics since 1963. The Parkway Deli is a family business, and their family loves to bring great food and service to yours. The Parkway Deli is open 7 days a week, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grubb Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
And fans, now for your starting lineup for the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
So for the Southern Maryland Senators, it'll be right-hander Brody Juntonen.
At first base from Babson University, number 15.
Juntonen has not just been one of the best pitchers on the Senators, but he's one of the best pitchers in the entire Ripken League. It's going to be his fourth appearance of the year, his third start. He's 2-0 with an ERA of .75. 12 innings under his belt. The only earned run he gave up was way back on June the 3rd against the SoCo Braves. Since then, he's gone 10 straight scoreless innings, only given up 5 hits, and striking out 10 along the way. First time for him since June 19th. That was a Friday against Alexandria right before the T-Bolts got to face off against the Aces, but Juntonen is on 8 days rest, and he'll go back out there presumably with a pretty long leash, going 5 innings in each of his last 2 appearances.
He is well built up to give the Southern Maryland Senators some extended run on the mound. And like you said, he's been fantastic, pitching to an ERA under 1. 3 appearances, 2 of which were starts. So the FIU Owl will go to work. It'll be Gabe Pagase to lead it off. Had a really good game against the Metro South County Braves, hitting a home run out of the ballpark. And he was trying to elevate one there. It is no good. That is James Carlson running over to make the catch for out number 1.
I mean, it's almost like someone told these dugouts that there is rain impending soon, because both teams not wasting any time at all. Pagese swinging at the first pitch there. Here's Fricky, a guy that's a little bit more disciplined, walks a ton, but he did swing at the first pitch a couple times last night.
And he will take for ball 1. Pitch number 2 on the night for Juntonen. That's going to be popped up by Fricky. But over to the first base side, camped under it is Jackson Hayes for out number 2. T-Bolts apparently got a plane to catch or something. Making quick at-bats, these first 2 hitters. Now it'll be Jonah Acosta, who has moved down from the leadoff spot into the 3-hole. I found that very interesting. I don't know what your thoughts were on that, Peter. Costa seemed like the prototypical leadoff man as he takes strike one. But now he's kind of in the heart of the order.
The good news is that Jonah's replacement at the top of it is Gabe Pegues, a guy with also some really big tools that can run really well and get on as a leadoff man. So not really a bad option out of those two. It is interesting to see Pegues with more power going to the top of the order, where he'll presumably have less people to drive in coming after the very bottom.
Those two kind of got flipped when it was all said and done. Pegues was looking good in the 3-hole, and Acosta was the ultimate table setter. But now Brock Hunter has flipped the script.
And we have seen him just shuffle these guys around the lineup to give him different looks. There were a couple games this year where Pegues batted 8th just to give him some different looks from the opposing arms.
That'll be ball one outside. Acosta quickly fell behind 0-2. I think Brock Hunter's still in a tinkering phase with this lineup, but there seems to be a clear 9 that he likes. That pitch in the dirt is ball 2. Skips away from the Senators' backstop, Zachary Anderson.
I feel like we might have glossed over it a bit, but we're over halfway through the season. This is game number 21 for the T-Bolts and number 22 for the Senators. Feels like it's flying by, and Coach Hunter's still making some tweaks to this lineup, trying to find the perfect combination.
Pitch goes outside 3-2, so Acosta was down 0-2. Now runs the count full. I think Acosta has to be one of those guys making a campaign for the All-Star game, as he takes ball 4. 2-out walk for Johnson on the mound. And that will set up a situation for Nolan Cutney to potentially move a runner or drive him in.
It's been a minute for Nolan Cutney to get back in this lineup. He's been a big part of the recent success over the past few years for the T-Bolts, but just his second game played since that doubleheader against Alexandria.
His first pitch is foul. The UMBC retriever in the American East Conference. Cutney, a native of the Pittsburgh area for the T-Bolts, but made his way down here to Maryland. He takes ball 1. He's originally from Pennsylvania. Spent time at Pitt and Hood College up there, and now made his way to the DMV area. He will take ball 2.
T-Bolts just got a guy by the name of Marco Polizzi a couple days ago. Those two actually attended the same high school, Montoursville High School up near Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where they played the Little League World Series. So a connection there, now reunited for the T-Bolts.
Swung on and missed at the top for Cutney. Polizzi, as you mentioned, a later addition to the roster. Came in, but he did stick in Pennsylvania. He's with the Millersville Marauders. We won't see him in game 1, but potentially game 2. That is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Johnson gets through a clean first inning. Only 1 walk allowed, no hits, and no runs, of course. We are through 1 in this 7-inning matchup between the Southern Maryland Senators and the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. We'll be back in the top of the second, but after a word from our sponsors.
Silver Spring Jewelry is the Washington area's only complete jewelry store, with a staff of 13 jewelry associates and 8 goldsmiths. Now in 3 locations in Tacoma Park, White Oak, and Silver Spring. Family owned and operated since 1971, specializing in diamonds, custom engagement rings, repairs, engraving, and cash for gold. Go to silverspringjewelers.com for more information. Silver Spring Jewelry, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Sky Point Federal Credit Union. They make banking simple. SkyPoint believes banking should be easy to understand, personalized, and focused on making the community a better place. Whether opening your first account or planning for your future, SkyPoint has the financial tools to help you hit it out of the park. SkyPoint Federal Credit Union, they make banking simple. Visit SkyPoint's branch in Silver Spring. More at skypointfcu.com, federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
Top of the second for Griffin Roussel after giving up a run in the top of the first. He will go back to work on the mound as Jackson Hayes takes the first pitch he sees of the day for ball one. 6, 7, and 8 in this Senators order due up. So he'll take a strike on the outside part. That one blowing away, ball two. That is swung on and missed for strike two on Jackson Hayes. Hayes, smart guy, goes to Yale University up in New Haven, Connecticut. We'll take ball two there. Played in 40 games with the Bulldogs to the tune of a 648 OPS, but drove in 19, walked more than he struck out. Right on cue, he will take a free pass to start this inning.
I applied to Yale, you know that? Not relevant at all, but of course I did not get in. But I'll say that I rescinded my application just because I didn't want to really take someone's spot, just for the greater good of the class.
I see what you're doing there. But hey, you ended up at what is arguably a public Ivy, University of Maryland. So that one gets by Schmelzer. And Jackson Hayes trots into second base easily.
Nothing wrong with Maryland.
No.
It's after being there for a year, I could say it's not Yale, but
no,
very solid school.
Great school, flagship here in the state of Maryland. Now runner on second for Roussel. Next pitch, low for ball two. So this will be Joey Todd at the plate. He is the designated hitter today. He'll take strike one. Todd, a native of Arlington, Virginia, goes to Richard Bland College. He's only played in 8 games, so he hasn't seen a ton of action. But getting the start here today in Silver Spring, Tacoma in game 1 of the doubleheader, I'm sure a lot of guys will be logging innings this afternoon/evening. The 3-1. Low for ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Griffin Roussel. And that'll bring up Jack Ewart with a chance to do some damage here in this at-bat.
Yeah, Roussel has struggled with the walks a bit this year. He cleaned them up in the doubleheader 1 week ago against the Aces. He only walked 2 over 3 2/3 innings, but today back-to-back in this inning. Tough scenario for him with nobody out, and the T-Bolt's already in a deficit. Got to take advantage of the bottom of the order coming up, though.
Might be tough. Ewart has 13 RBIs. He lays down a great bunt. Camacho will pick it up. Barehanded, fires to first, and they get him. So the runners do go to second and third. A successful sac bunt, but a great play by Camacho. Kind of reminds me of another Floridian type of guy, Manny Machado, back in his prime.
That's a great play by Sam. Third nice play he's made today. Ball just seeming to find him. It's, as you mentioned, the defense has gotten so much better over the past couple of weeks for Sam. He hasn't made an error in about 2 or 3 weeks. He's looked really good over at third base. Made a nice scoop of a ball last night to get a big force out against Olney.
Number 9 hitter Josh Saronis making his way to the plate. The chance to drive in some runs. He swings and misses at strike 2. This would be a big punch out for Burcell on the mound, if he can get it. The 0-2 on its way. Fouled off over on the third base side of things. Saronis out of the University of Delaware. He's going to be teammates with Colin Gibbs next season of the T-Bolts. Gibbs not starting in game 1. Don't know if he'll start game 2, given the fact that he kind of got hurt against the Metro South County Braves, as ball 1 is low. But Saronis hitting .263 in 16 games, rounding out this Senators order well. Home plate umpire will call time.
Well, don't tell the umpire that Colin Gibbs got hurt in that game, because from the way I understand it, the call in the field did not align with what actually happened. But yeah, Gibbs, unfortunately, missing some time here. Got a little bit banged up in that one.
That was a tough at-bat for Gibbs. He took one off the hands, and the umpires called it a foul ball. And the next thing you know, he struck out. And about an inning or two later, he had to be pulled from the game. That's popped up. Jonah Acosta over to make the catch, calling off Cameron Baker. And, of course, the pop-up not deep enough for Jackson Hayes to tag. So a huge second out for Roussel if he wants to escape this inning with no runs allowed. Lineup turns over. It goes back to Chase Fulford. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Fulford did have a single his last time up, 2 stolen bases to boot. He has been a great piece for the Senator squad, hitting .339, 22 runs scored. Next pitch is upstairs, ball 2. 13 stolen bases as well, so this is, looking at these stats, kind of reminds me of Jonah Acosta in a way and what he does for the T-Bolts. This is the Senators' counterpart. Quite literally, because he's playing at shortstop. So Fulford has the full advantage. 3-0 with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. T-Bolts down 1-0, and he'll take ball 4 inside and tight.
Now batting number 11, Braylon Gonzalez.
Fulford keeps his 1-for-1 day intact. And now Braylon Gonzalez is going to have a chance here to drive in a bunch of runs if he can find some grass. Roussel does get the breaking ball in there, though. Strike 1. Starting to drizzle here in Silver Spring, Tacoma. That is hit the other way, and it will get down. Cam Baker runs over to pick it up. Camacho, and he is out. Great throw from Cameron Baker to limit the damage here. Didn't even need Camacho's help. It just trickled right where it needed to be. And Kai Schmelzer able to place the tag down on the second runner, trying to score Joey Todd. So 1 run does score on that play, but it'll only be a 2-0 lead for the Southern Maryland Senators. A big defensive, effort there from the T-Bolts to keep the score in check. We'll head to the bottom of the second as the T-Bolts bats are looking to pick things up here at Blair Baseball Stadium.
Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland helps people turn their dreams into their new forever home. Whether it's a renovation, addition, or a new home, Ben will assist you in picking colors and finishes. He'll explain building codes, zoning requirements, and materials that stress energy efficiency. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Ave in Tacoma Park, Maryland, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center in downtown Silver Spring presents the best in American and world cinema. They show classic American mysteries from the black and white era, as well as the most modern digital content from around the world. The AFI Silver Theater also features filmmaker interviews, panel discussions, musical performances, and more. The AFI Silver Theater at 8633 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Now batting for your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts from
So a huge play from Cameron Baker out in left, gunning it in time to cut down Joey Todd, trying to score on that single from Braylon Gonzalez. Now it'll be 5, 6, and 7 in the T-Bolts order. Griffin Puvel to lead things off. He will take strike one. He's back in the lineup here today. Part of a very good outfield group for this T-Bolt squad. They can plug so many names in many different spots. Puvel does take strike two, and Puvel was here last summer. Brock Hunter does respect his veterans on this team, but given the talent in the outfield, Puvel's had to fight for playing time still. That pitch just outside for ball one.
Puvel's turned it up as of recently. Hits in each of his last 3 games, but he has struck out 7 times over that span.
I think what sticks out about him is how toolsy he is. He's going to hit one to shortstop. A nice backhand play by Fulford, and he is safe. That throw on one hop got away from the first baseman Jackson Hayes. And Puvel able to take second base as a result.
You can already see the drizzle of rain playing a part here, and it's actually become more than a drizzle, but making the infield dirt a little bit more solid. I think that might have bounced up higher than Jackson Hayes was expecting, so it gets by him, and it allows Puvel to get on second base, which is a great start after Southern Maryland doubled their lead in the top half. And for the T-Bolts, have only scored one run over their past 10-plus innings after their tough game last night.
First pitch to Cam Baker, who made a fantastic throw from the outfield. Misses for ball one. Baker out of Indian River State. That is in there for strike one. I don't know about you, Peter, but it feels like best case scenario for both players, Cameron Baker and Griffin Puvel, are kind of Spider-Man miming each other. They play a very similar brand of baseball where they have really good tools across the board, and they can absolutely play in the Ripken League.
I agree. I think the only major difference between the two is their size. Griffin Puvel about 6'5", but Cam Baker a little bit shorter, 5'11", 6 foot, but both pretty thin, both pretty lanky, and have put together some good performances both offensively and defensively.
The 1-2 misses upstairs for ball two. I remember doing an interview post-game with Griffin Puvel and Brady Grimes when he walked it off. And my oh my, did I feel small in that moment. Very unsettling, but those two guys are great. So nice to talk to them after a big win. Baker fouls it back into the screen. The rain's starting to come down a little bit harder. It actually looks like snow a little bit. The 2-2. That's fouled away once again. Baker fighting at the plate.
Well, what it looks like now is parallel lines because it is blowing horizontally all over the field, and recently it was blowing directly into our enclosed press box that has about a couple feet out of cover in front of our window, and it was even blowing in on us.
I know. I'm starting to feel like the mist of it. It is just going all over the place. Baker hits that one out to right. Tracking it down. It is a catch. Great play by Braylon Gonzalez, running a decent bit to get that baseball, but Hoover will tag regardless if it's fair or foul. And now the T-Bolts have a runner on third with one out here in the bottom of the second.
Good opportunity here for Camacho to get the T-Bolts on the board. Sacrifice fly can do it, but it's going to be harder to hit balls deep in this swirling rain. You can see some fans starting to flee a little bit or pulling out some umbrellas.
Yeah.
We thought it might be holding off a little bit later than it is, but it has started to come down.
That pitch, this is for ball one. Sam Camacho has also flashed the leather today on some nice defensive plays, or I should say flashed the hand. Was able to gun a runner out on a bunt attempt by just picking up the baseballs. That's hit hard right to his counterpart. Fires across the diamond. They get Camacho, but the run does score. Nice play from Jack Ewert over at the hot corner. But the T-Bolts cut the lead in half. It is now 2-1, Southern Maryland Senators.
Yeah, still being so early in this game, that's an effective job by Camacho. Didn't need to get a base hit there, just needed to get that run home somehow. And he's able to do it, driving in Griffin Pouvel on that grounder that is almost a double down the line, but Jack Ewert making a play that Camacho can respect and keeping it from being a hit.
First pitch to the backstop, Kai Schmelzer. He's in there for strike one. And I think for the T-Bolts, it's just a matter of having a fundamental offensive approach and being able to move those runners. So that's popped up to the Senator shortstop, Chase Fulford. Ooh, another guy putting on a glove show. And that'll wrap up the bottom of the second. I don't know if this game will continue, but we will give you guys an update either way, whatever it may look like. We'll go to the top of the third. Now a 2-1 ball game. Both teams are on the scoreboard.
There will be week-long Thunderbolts baseball camps for this year, starting.
Koa Sports in Gaithersburg, Maryland is committed to shaping kids' lives through sports. Koa Sports aims to develop each child to their full potential as an athlete and as a person. They also help your student athlete in the classroom, on the playing field, and anywhere in between. Learn more about Koa Sports at koasports.com. Koa Sports is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Parkview Capital believes your financial strategy should reflect more than the numbers. It should reflect you. As a trusted investment advisory firm, Parkview Capital partners with individuals and families to build and protect wealth. Parkview Capital personalizes strategies rooted in your values and long-term goals. Whether you're growing your portfolio or preserving a legacy, Parkview Capital crafts a clear, customized path to your financial future, one that evolves with you. Parkview Capital, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. It's coming down, Patrick.
Oh, it is.
It really is. I thought it was going to hold off till maybe 6:30. We thought we might be able to get in the first game, but weather app is telling me rain for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and I wish it would go away for a number of reasons, but one of them being that the camera we're using for the stream is my iPhone, and it is currently getting a little bit soaked. So hopefully the rain can siphon down a bit, or at least just blow itself away from our press box to keep us all nice and dry up here.
I believe it has. The rain is not coming towards the press box. And a very fitting song played at Blair Baseball Stadium. I Ain't Worried by One Republic. Great song from the fantastic film Top Gun Maverick. Bark Hunter is going to have a word with the home plate umpire on if this game will continue, and it will. Roussel out there for his third inning of work. That is in there for ball one.
Rain could be beneficial here against James Carlson, a guy with a lot of power, 4 homers and 4 doubles on the season. Could limit him from putting one out here. We have seen him homer this year against Silver Spring, homered in that June 16th game, also had a double, went 3 for 4 with a walk.
Molly's got a 3-0 count. Might be difficult for him to get one out of the park. Either way. That's in there for strike one. Roussel able to fire one in there. So, of course, in Roussel's case, you have, the Christian Dreys, the Jacob Seeks, and the Brady Grimes of the world. That's strike two. Carlson had tossed the bat away in anticipation that he was going to get a walk, but it's not the case. But behind that 3 that I mentioned, Peter, the T-Bolts are kind of looking for some starters to step up. And, maybe Roussel could be that guy. Maybe he's not. But I think as the season goes on, he's going to get more comfortable. And that one will be ball 4. So Carlson tosses the bat, knowing it'll go back to the dugout this time around. And once again, the Senators have the leadoff man on for the 3rd consecutive inning.
It's a good point you bring up. It's kind of like riding a bike. Like, you can get more comfortable every time you go out there. You're not really going to get less comfortable. You might have better or worse results. That could be a variable factor, but comfortability is something that is going to be consistent and likely grow the more times you go out there, especially against teams you faced before as we get further into the season. Although this is a scenario hasn't really been in, pitching in the rain.
I mean, this could kind of be an anomaly when it's all said and done. As Zachary Anderson sounds like he broke his bat a little bit, snapped the handle. But either way, it's going to be deposited into left field for a base hit, moving the runner station to station.
Yeah, just to update the viewers, rain not slowing up. If anything, it's coming down even further. Looks like pretty fat drops coming down here at Blair. Weather app's telling me stopping in 40 minutes, but then rainy conditions expected around 6 p.m. There's 6 minutes separating 40 minutes from now and 6 p.m. So hopefully we'll get a window to keep this game going and finish it, but right now it is certainly not one of the more fun atmospheres for the players on the field.
First pitch to Cole Rame for his second AB is inside ball 1. And that's going to hit him. Rame kind of tossed the bat aggressively over to his dugout, but he'll take first base to load him up. And I can tell you one thing, playing baseball in the rain is probably one of the least fun experiences a human can have.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're trying to dress it up, but it is really raining hard here. We've been very sensitive to rain here at Blair over our first couple weeks of this year and even dating back to the past few years. Mount Vizzy here is just going to give Griffin Roussel a chance to talk things over. I mean, no one's happy in that scenario. Griffin Roussel hits Cole Rame. Maybe the ball slips out of his hand or it's just tougher to get a grip on. And Cole Rame's mad because now he has to go stand in the rain for an unforeseeable amount of time, and he just got hit by a pitch.
And it looks like they're going to call this game, or at least take a break. We'll give you guys an update as soon as we have one. But the T-Bolts are going to get off the field. Too bad for the Senators. Bases loaded, nobody out situation. Rain or shine, that is a golden opportunity to score some runs, and it's going to get taken out of their hands due to inclement weather.
When we've had rain this year, it's often been accompanied by some pretty serious lightning and thunder, so that pushes us into automatic 30-minute delays from the last strike. I don't think that is the issue today, so I think it's just whenever the rain can slow down and field conditions are deemed sufficient, it's going to be up to the grounds crew, and by grounds crew I mean the T-Bolts players, to try to get that field back to tip-top shape. But again, forecast is giving us at least another half an hour of rain. If it slows up, that's when we can maybe think about going back out there, but it's a shame that it did come in as early as it did. Before I got here, I was looking and it was saying 6:30, 7, but it really started around basically when we started, 4:50, 4:55, and it's been going pretty steady ever since.
So the Tarps are going to go on the field covering home plate and the mound, and we'll see what else happens. It seems to be that the rain has lightened up a little bit since it started. Looks like the T-Bolts around home plate are playing with the parachute back in elementary school PE classes. Said it's got a little more purpose than that. Same with the mound. Those are the two areas you got to protect. And we'll have to wait and see how steady this rain is, and if they deem it playable after 30 minutes. And not to mention, this was supposed to be a doubleheader, so 2 games they were hoping to get done today.
And it puts the league in a tough situation too, because how the scheduling works is that teams in different divisions will play each other 4 times as scheduled throughout the year, 2 at one location, 2 at the other. That was supposed to knock out the games at Blair today. We're supposed to be done with that. Senators wouldn't have to come back to Blair. And it's not close for them either. I mean, you've made the trip down there before. It is not close to their home field and to a lot of these players' host families. So it would force maybe a rescheduled game to happen here, maybe 2 games to be rescheduled to happen here, and that just creates more travel logistics. I mean, you can't completely block this one out yet, but it is not looking good to get into and even to get in one, if I'm being honest.
Well, all 3 umpires and the 2 head coaches of the opposing squads, as well as Thunderbolts owner Dick O'Connor, will be conversing, and the trainers out there as well. A lot of calculations are taking place at the moment and how they can work this out, if they're going to wait out the rain or if, they're going to have to call it. But either way, on that T-Bolts pitching, and now the rain coming down a little bit harder, just straight downfall. But yeah, on the note of that pitching conversation for the T-Bolts, do you think Roussel can be one of those guys to step up behind, what seems to be a big 3 right now in Seek, Trey, and Grimes?
I think so. I think that it's good by Brock Hunter to give these guys consistent opportunities. A lot of what happens in summer ball is it's very variable. You don't know if and when you're going to throw. But I think in this league, coaches are good about giving pitchers a day that they're going to throw, regardless of who the opponent is or the situation. So if Griffin Roussel gets used to throwing on Saturdays and getting 3-4 innings under his belt, maybe getting up to 60 pitches, 70 pitches, I think he can be built up to someone that is effective and someone that can give a good contribution as a starter as we get further into this year.
And then some other irons in that fire. You have Zach Bortner, who has shown some good stuff from the left side, and then E.J. Youngling can give you a nice 3-inning spurt. He is more of on the reliever side of the spectrum, but can still provide, that length if needed. And then Braden Featheroff, who has been hurt for most of the summer, or up until this point, I should say. But he's a very talented arm, transferred into Stonehill in the D1 ranks. He can absolutely make an impact. And it seemed like Brock Hunter wanted to make him a starter as well. So you have all those names in that mix, as well as plenty of relief options. Guys like Franco Pistella and Michael Presky can go multi-inning relief if needed. And, Wade Hartrick and names like that can go 1 inning. So T-Bolts can mix and match. You definitely need to do that on the summer circuit, especially when pitching coaches at these colleges might have restrictions. They might have innings limits on their pitchers so they don't get hurt. They don't want to run that risk, even if they are willing to have those guys throw in summer ball. So everyone's trying to get dry right now for the Senators and the T-Bolts. They will most likely be camped out in the dugout. This rain is not falling super hard, but it appears to be a consistent, precipitation here.
It has been changing a lot, but it is no question that it has been coming down for the duration of the past 30 minutes, whether it's been a light rain, a heavy rain. It is slowed up now, but it has been a rain that has been really shuffling in and seems to be making itself here to stay.
So with that, we will take a break. Of course, we have the rain delay announcement on our screen, and we will provide you guys with any further updates as soon as we get them, wherever this game may go. Stick with us here on the Thunderbolts Baseball YouTube channel as we take a quick pause on the broadcast. Well, after a 45-minute delay, the T-Bolts will be resuming play around 6 p.m. once the game was paused at 5:15. Roussel will be out of this game after walking the last hitter that he faced in Cole Rame. And that would spell the end of it for Roussel. The book is still open on him, I should say. But Emilio Rodriguez is going to come in, right-hander out of LaSalle University in Philadelphia.
Unfortunately for Griffin Roussel, regardless if that would have been the end or not, it kind of had to be. A 45-minute delay for a starter is just too much to restart with. He wasn't going to be able to come back in his same form, so it kind of necessitates a change in the bullpen. And it is Emilio Rodriguez who threw a little bit on June 24th, 3 days ago, in the second game of a doubleheader against the Big Train. Did some good work, had a couple solid innings, limited the Big Train offense enough to give the T-Bolts a chance to win, and they ended up walking it off 6-5. But probably the worst scenario could have come in, and after a long rain delay and bases loaded, nobody out. Good news is it's still early, and also some good news is that Southern Maryland's going to have to change their pitcher as well, more than likely, because Johnson is on even a longer break, and he's been doing a lot better than Roussel was. So to get him out of the game is going to be huge for the T-Bolts' chances.
Emilio Rodriguez inherits a bases loaded, nobody out situation, and his first pitch out of the bullpen is a ball. The Senators do have activity in their bullpen. Dawson Weatherald currently warming up. Next pitch from Emilio in the dirt, blocked by Kai Schmelzer, ball 2. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Really good fastball from Rodriguez. And Rodriguez just got here recently, a native of Baltimore, Maryland. Currently a rising senior for the Explorers in the A-10. A lot of A-10 love here today. If only our guy Brian Alves was here, who goes to VCU, another A-10 school. Last time Emilio was out through 1 inning, and he'll fire in strike 2 to even up the count. Once again, the Yale Bulldog stands at the plate. He had to walk his first time up, and he'll swing and miss here. Great pitch from Emilio Rodriguez. He's starting to settle in. He picks up a crucial first out.
About as good as it gets from Rodriguez, falling behind in the count, but then striking out Hayes. There was only one man in the Ripken League this year with an on-base percentage over 60%, and that was Jackson Hayes, leading the league in that margin by a wide distance, but Rodriguez gets to him there, and now there's one out.
That pitch misses to Joey Todd, who was cut down at the plate by Cameron Baker earlier in this game. We'll take the next pitch, ball 2. Rodriguez absolutely has an opportunity to eat some innings out of the T-Bolts bullpen, and that will hit Todd. So one of the inherited runners will score on Griffin Roussel's tab. And just like that, it is a 3-1 ball game.
The rain has slowed or stopped enough to let us resume play. It's hard to tell from where we are if it's still coming down, but at the very least, it's still a very heavy sky, a lot of mist in the air, which makes it tough to get a grip on the baseball. Second hit batsman by T-Bolts pitching this inning.
Nice pitch from Rodriguez. In there for strike one to Jack Ewert. And yeah, I mean, when a ball gets wet, it's going to feel a little bit more dense, a little bit more heavy. So pitcher's not quite used to it. And another good breaking ball in there for strike two.
That one took Ewert by surprise. You could see him flinch away at that one. Didn't expect back-to-back curveballs from Rodriguez.
Well, that's what he did. The 0-2. He goes to it again, and he gets him to swing and miss. Jack Ewert befuddled at the plate by Rodriguez, who goes with 3 straight curveballs for out number 2, picking up the strikeout. I mean, I think this would be a huge win if Rodriguez only allows 1 run in a bases loaded, nobody out situation. That pitch goes in the dirt. Ball 1, though, to Josh Saronis. Josh is a rising freshman as he gets a hold of that baseball into the right center gap. It is gone. Joshua Saronis with a huge blast into right center field. The Delaware Blue Hen hits a grand slam to break open this game. It is now 7-1. And my, oh my, what a shot that is. I was just out in that outfield, and it felt so deep. And he hit it comfortably out of the ballpark.
That's what Saronis does. He was at Quince Orchard High School for 3 years. Finished his junior year with 5 home runs, but he has massive power, standing at just 6'1". He's a big power speed guy, and the only reason he's batting at the bottom of this lineup is because he just is pretty young. He hasn't really gotten to college yet. Graduated high school just a couple months ago. But that swing, looking like a veteran in the college scene, jumping all over that pitch from Rodriguez. He was so close to getting out of that inning with limited damage, but blink and it's 7-1.
So Chase Fulford will get his 3rd at-bat in 3 innings. He's got an even count, 1-1. And the University of Delaware, I'm sure, will love that if that's on tape. That a rising freshman is belting one out of the yard with a wood bat in a summer league baseball game. Next pitch from Rodriguez. Up high for ball 2. And he's going to be teammates with Colin Gibbs, who recently committed to the University of Delaware to continue his collegiate career. So both land with the Blue Hens in 2 different ways. Next pitch from Rodriguez in there, strike 2 to even up the count. I mean, if you do think about it, Prep Baseball Report did track Saronis with a 97-mile-an-hour exit velo. That is ball 4 to Fulford. So he's clearly got that juice in there, and he just flashed it on the grand slam. Second walk of the day for Fulford at the plate. Now it'll be Braylon Gonzalez, who made a great running catch earlier in this game in right field.
Fulford on base 3 times now in 3 innings. Pair of walks as well.
That pitch way low for ball 1. Fulford able to scamper to second.
Up to 16 stolen bags now for Chase Fulford, and that time Schmelzer didn't really pop out of his crouch, just let him have it. Down 6 runs and 2 outs. Not a reason to risk anything.
He does go around. They do not appeal on the check swing, so evens up the count, 1-1. Fulford appeared in 12 games at Binghamton. Had a 357 OBP as he fouls it away. So the rising sophomore, I should say, perhaps looking to make up for lost time in his college season, or potentially get better and crack that everyday lineup. He'll take one high and up, ball 2. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. That is a strike. It's going to be strike 3. The umpire did not call it that way, but there you go. Emilio Gonzalez will get off the field. Tough break for him. One pitch really did him in. And he'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, hoping for his offense to pick him up. It is now 7-1 in favor of the Southern Maryland Senators here at Player Baseball Stadium after the rain delay.
Dan Metcalf has long been a supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Now he is at a new location, the Finn Family Group of Perennial Real Estate. If you want to find that perfect home and the perfect opportunity, the Finn Family Group is for you. The family group believes in community, and they bring a sense of community when working with clients to find homes in the Silver Spring Tacoma Park area. Call them today at 301-450-6999. The Finn Family Group, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Athletic House in Gaithersburg is a promotional product distributor making mugs, pens, and t-shirts for advertisers. They can supply your company with every possible promotional product from 3,000 suppliers. With so many ad spaces available, Athletic House can help leave a lasting impression with your customers, and they will create long-lasting relationships with your clients. Athletic House, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, the Southern Maryland Senators are going to make a change of their own on the mound. Of course, roughly a 45-minute break will prompt them to pull their starter Brody Johnson in favor of the southpaw Tyler Van Dyke. Patrick Moran alongside Nick Ronholm now. Bit of a line change. Nick, we appreciate you hopping on the broadcast as Matthew Kim pops it up over to first base. They do have room, and Jackson Hayes secures the first out.
Well, obviously, albeit the rain delay, the attack strategy for the hitters so far has kind of been to attack that first couple pitches, really kind of get to their spots before the pitcher can get there, not trying to get too deep into counts early in this one.
And, Nick, sometimes that approach is going to pay off. Sometimes it's not. And right now, the Southern Maryland Senators are getting the weak contact rather than the T-Bolts taking advantage of, maybe more favorable pitches. Lineup turns over for Gabe Pegues as he takes strike 1.
Well, big strategy. The first pitch of the at-bat is usually the best one you're going to see, and obviously that one right down the middle that Gabe is taking, but it seems to be a common strategy for the Bolts so far.
Pegues drives it out to right center. That is going to be off the wall. Pegues will round second. He's going to head to third, and he is in there with a stand-up triple. Gabe Pegues, folks. We have been banging the drum for an all-star campaign out of Pegues, and he is showing why right there.
Well, Pegues, Pegues. It seems to be a big guess with that guy, but way to take the outside pitch and drive it the other way into the gap. Doesn't even need a hop to get off the wall, and a great job by Pegues showing his 5-tool ability.
He really does have it. Kind of reminds me of my favorite athlete of all time, as I've said on this broadcast, Adam Jones, just rocking the number 10 in center field. He can really do it all. He shifted really well in the center after initially looking like he was slated for some corner reps. Connor Fricky takes strike 1.
Well, Connor Fricky, interesting enough, a former hockey player himself, a state champion in Colorado.
Of course, you have that hockey background as well, so.
That is certainly something we have bonded over as the season has gone on.
He'll take that one inside for ball one. Sticks on the board. Do you think those hockey skills can translate over to the baseball diamond?
I definitely think there's a lot of similarities. The hand-eye coordination obviously being the big one.
Furky does deposit that, but it is foul just to the left side of third base.
The hand-eye coordination obviously kind of being the big thing, but there's a lot of things that you can take from the ice rink and bring it onto the diamond. But obviously being able to see pitches as fast as seeing pucks move is definitely a strength that can translate.
And of course, you know, Connor Fricky can bring the physicality as well. He's a big dude when you look at him, and you know, he may be playing first base, but he's got that, you know, juice in his bag per se. The 1-2 in there for a ball.
Well, his zone will obviously expand, but that went a little too far inside for him.
And he is 6'5", 215. That is
already a pretty expanded zone already.
Yeah. And of course, he's got to crouch down a little bit to manage it. He has that RBI opportunity. He will ground it out to second base. It is a ground out. Cole Rame to Jackson Hayes, but Pagase able to score on that, as that's the second sacrifice ground out of this game for the T-Bolts.
It seems to be a very common theme with the Bolts early in this one. It's the productive outs, the sac flies, the ground outs that score runs. Kind of a big part of their offense so far.
No doubt about it. And I think that's something the T-Bolts have to strengthen per se, is just the fundamentals of being able to hit with the runners in scoring position. First pitch to Jonah Acosta gets the outside part for strike one. Acosta, one of the Miami guys, which we love on the broadcast. Him and Sam Camacho as he takes the ball.
That Miami left side of the infield has been quite good for them, especially in the fielding category so far this year.
And Acosta has played everywhere except pitcher, catcher, and first base, which, you know, is expanding his toolkit.
As well as seeing, according to him, his first games as an outfielder in his baseball career entirely.
Truly fascinating, but he's a great athlete that can make that adjustment on the fly. He'll take a ball there.
I mean, you see guys like him and, you know, Gabe Pagese, they just seem to be, you know, multifaceted guys that have more than, you know, a couple tools that can really help this team offensively.
The 2-2. That's going to be popped up. Not much on it. Into left center. James Carlson does call off the left fielder Josh Saronis on that play, and that'll get the Southern Maryland Senators off the field. It is 7-2 now as the T-Bolts chip away at the old block.
The Radial Tire Company in Silver Spring specializes in balancing repair, installation to your car's tires. The Radial Tire Company has experienced technicians with a commitment to quality service, advanced equipment for balancing and installation, and comprehensive repair options. The Radial Tire Company at 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center in Wheaton has been serving Washington musicians since 1958. Chuck Levin's is a family run and is famous for instrument sales and its repair facilities for guitars, woodwinds, brass, strings, and electronics. It is open from Monday to Saturday from 10 to 6. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, Emilio Rodriguez is going to go out there for his second inning of work. And, you know, that's going to hopefully be productive for the T-Bolts bullpen. They've had to work their tails off recently. So, you know, some short starts from Zach Bortner in Southern Maryland, going roughly 2 innings. Same with Brady Grimes and Olney. And, you know, it's plenty of reps for these bullpen guys to essentially prove themselves, but also at the same time, you know, in the Ripken League, you got to be ready for the marathon, and it can also be taxing.
And Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Emilio is one of the newer players this season. So
He is.
As much as you want him to eat up innings to give that bullpen a rest, you also want him to kind of get into a groove quickly. Hope that he can be a solid piece out of the pen down the stretch.
You are correct, Nick. He is a new addition late. Unfortunately, we've had some pitching injuries to guys like Braden Featheroff and Brandon Brown. So they've had to work around that and, you know, outsource some talent. First pitch from Rodriguez is in there for a strike. He's really had the off speeds and breaking pitches working so far.
Well, obviously, albeit the Grand Slam, you really want him to be attacking these hitters, especially in summer ball, and he's doing just that.
The 0-1 upstairs for a ball. We'll get you the final line on Griffin Roussel because the book did close. He went 2 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. Of course, may look a lot different if he stays out there and controls his own situation. That pitch goes upstairs once again, 2-1.
Well, speaking to him during the rain delay, he was very adamant about how that second inning should not have started. Cannot say I disagree with him on that one. The mound does look, and still looks, pretty atrocious.
And Rodriguez lands it. Really got that curveball working. And even though the scoreboard doesn't show it, he is showing some really good stuff, which is a huge positive to draw. Rock Hunter and the pitching coaches.
Well, especially in June, I feel like wins and losses obviously matter most, but you want to see these guys kind of get into a summer ball groove here, kind of, work on some of the things that they've been looking for at their colleges.
The payoff pitch is in there for strike 3, swung on and missed by James Carlson. Emilio Rodriguez continues to stack the strikeouts.
Now batting number 20, Zach Anderson.
That'll be Zachary Anderson doing the catching here in this one. And you make a great point. I mean, the new arms kind of have to get acclimated. They have to get settled in, and Rodriguez is in that process. But the stuff looks good, which is a big positive. It can help, soften, those valleys a little bit.
Well, obviously, they're coming off college seasons, but, I mean, unless you were playing in Omaha, which none of the Thunderbolts were, you really need to kind of hone in that arm early in the year.
Swung on and missed, strike 2.
They go 2 or 3 weeks kind of without throwing a baseball or without throwing in a real game, and then they have to get back out there and do it real quick.
That'll be grounded out to shortstop. Acosta almost made the backhand play, but it gets under his glove and sits in left field for Cam Baker to throw back in. So that's going to be a 1-out single for the center fielder, James Carlson. Of course, you mentioned that College World Series. The Oklahoma Sooners did take it, I believe, last week against the Tar Heels.
Boomer Sooner, baby.
Boomer Sooners, that's right. Game 3 really wasn't that great. It was 13-2. But good experience overall. A lot of cool stories coming out of Omaha this year. That is ball 1 in the dirt from Rodriguez. And I know our guy Michael Presky, his host family is a North Carolina household, so that was tough for them. He was talking about how they were a little bit down about it, but hey, they made it that far. Rodriguez fires in strike 1.
Well, the North Carolina team that has been very talented in recent years, but just hasn't been able to quite get over the hump. Eventually, they were able to do it this year, but ran into a red-hot Oklahoma Sooners.
Yep. No doubt about it. The 1-1. In there, strike 2. Rodriguez continues to land that curveball of his.
Well, he's been able to spot those off-speed pitches really well, and that's something that's going to be very valuable out of the T-Bolts Open as we get into the July month.
And it's so unique to see a pitcher, go to the off-speed first as a primary offering, but if it works, it works.
It is something not very well seen, especially in the college ranks. Still trying to kind of hone in. They're still growing as pitchers, trying to hone in those off-speed pitches.
The 2-2 is inside for ball 3, but Schmelzer throws it down, and they got him. Throw was a little bit offline, but it did not matter.
Well, a bit confusing there for the Senators. Runner did not slide into second base. Curious to know what he might have been thinking there. Just kind of tried to get up there, almost avoid the Kim tag without trying to slide, but unfortunately to no avail.
And that'll be strike 3. Cole Ram thought he had the walk, but instead he will be set down. So Emilio Rodriguez has got the strikeout stuff today, but can the T-Bolts scratch across some more runs as we head to the bottom of the 4th?
Fetch Pet Care in Silver Spring is your premier in-home pet care service. From dog walks, cat care, overnight stays, pet sitting, and medication administration, Fetch Pet Care provides services tailored to meet your pet's individual needs. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road, number 115 in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The Tacoma Torch, founded in 2019, brings laughter and a sense of fun to residents in the Tacoma Park and the D.C., Maryland area. The Tacoma Torch features satirical articles about the region that those with a sense of humor can appreciate. Send a headline or idea their way at tacomatorch@gmail.com and watch what they do with it. The Tacoma Torch is also on the web at tacomatorch.com. Tacoma Torch, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, Tyler Van Dyke will. Oh yeah, I'll take a quick break, folks. Peter Kelly and Nick Ronholm will bring you home the rest of the way here in this one.
Well, it's me now. Peter Kelly, joined by Nick Ronholm, and excited to have everyone on the live stream this afternoon. Afternoon turning into evening quickly. And Silver Spring back at the plate for the fourth time today, trying to fight back from a 5-run deficit. Nolan Kutney fouls the first pitch off. It's 4-5-6 due up. Kutney, Puval, and Baker, a part of the order that is over 3, although Puval did reach on an error back in the second inning. Counts 0-1. The changeup from Van Dyke misses outside. Tyler Van Dyke worked a very quick third inning, giving up a triple on the second batter to Gabriel Pegues, but other than that, using a couple flyouts and a ground out. Counts 1-1, goes to a changeup again, and it misses downstairs.
Well, they're going to really want to get that middle of the order awake, especially kind of getting into that July months if they really want to get going and try to make a run at this thing.
2-1 pitch. Fastball is lifted foul on the right side. Can they run it down? Carlson is out of room.
Well, we talked about Nolan Kutney in that front foot. I believe that the timing is frankly a little off there, and I think an improvement, just a small improvement adjustment there from Kutney in his front foot could really do wonders to his swing, especially as we get into July.
Count even at 2-2, and Kutney will step out, call time. The lone T-Bolt to strike out today, struck out swinging to end the bottom of the first inning. 2-2. In the air out towards left field, Saronis doesn't even move. He's right under it for the first out.
Appeared to time that one well, just got slightly under it, right into the glove of the left fielder.
One away in the bottom of the fourth. Silver Spring Tacoma chasing 5 runs. And here's the 5-hitter Griffin Puval, senior out of Rider University up in Jersey, the MAAC Conference champions. Puval, a late addition to the team because he was wrapping up his season in the Gainesville Regional, a regional that the Troy Trojans eventually won, taking down the national seed Florida and advancing to Omaha in the College World Series as one of the final 8 teams. Counts 1-1 against Puval, who was a key contributor on that team. Played a fair amount for a Rider squad that won their conference, had a lot of signature wins on the season, but saw their season end in that regional. Count 2-1 strikes against Puval, who, as mentioned, reached on an error at shortstop back in the second inning. He got to second on that error, came around to score on an RBI ground out by Camacho. He hammers this one into left center. Carlson in a dead sprint, but he watches it go over his head. Puval takes a spill around first base. He's going to try to get to second, and he's in there, but hopefully he's okay. There is a massive divot where Puval tried to take that turn at first, and he was spread eagle on the ground before he had to get back up. Otherwise, probably could have been a triple, but instead it's his 3rd double of the season.
Well, talking to the ump during the rain delay, he was very adamant about how if he saw anybody slip, that the game would be called. So interesting to see what might come of that slip by Puval rounding first.
Well, we are still going. Your umpire crew, Tim Anderson behind the plate, Matt Binder at first, and Stephen Hand at third. Puval did take quite the trip. I'm impressed he got to second base anyway. This is Cam Baker, and he elevates it out towards center field, but no trouble for James Carlson, who gloves the second out, and Puval can't advance.
And we keep seeing these Bolts hitters be very aggressive for those first couple pitches. They're coming up there swinging. They're not looking to get into deep counts quite yet in this game. They're coming up there ready to hack.
We'll see if Sam Camacho is ready to hack. The 7-hitter playing third base today. Grounded out to his counterpart at third, Jack Ewert, back in the second inning. Did drive a home run, though. It was Griffin Puval who came home and scored, and Camacho looking to bring home Griffin for the second time today. Just got to take things one step at a time as we get further into this one, Nick. There's not a 5-run play. I feel like I say that a lot on the broadcast, but there are 1-run and 2-run plays, and Camacho's got a chance to contribute here.
Well, you keep chipping away at those, obviously, like you said, no 5-run play, but you keep chipping away, and eventually we've seen that from the Bolts this year in spades.
1 ball and no strikes. The lefty Van Dyke to the plate, and he lands in a breaker on the inner third for strike 1.
Camacho appeared to not necessarily agree with that one, checking to see if that's the farthest that the home plate umpire will go with that inside pitch.
Count even 1-1. 2 away in the fourth. Runner on second after Puval's double. 1-1 is tapped on the ground. Third base side, right over to Ewert. And for the second straight at bat, it's a 5-3 ground out to retire Sam Camacho and end the inning. T-Bolts can't get another. They still trail this one 7-2 behind the South Division leaders, the Southern Maryland Senators. Heading to the fifth, just 3 more outs before we get to the modified stretch time. But before that, we'll get a word from our sponsors.
United Therapeutics in Silver Spring develops pharmaceuticals and technologies that help patients in need of organ transplantation. United Therapeutics is guided by principles of always striving to do the right thing and relentlessly pushing to always do better. As a result, the company was included among America's best companies by Forbes magazine. United Therapeutics in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The Parkway Deli on Grubb Road in Silver Spring has been dishing up deli classics since 1963. The Parkway Deli is a family business, and their family loves to bring great food and service to you and yours. The Parkway Deli is open 7 days a week, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The Parkway Deli on Grubb Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Keeping things right here in the top of the fifth. Doing a great job with these ad reads, Nick. You're a natural.
It comes with the territory, Peter. It comes with the territory.
7-2 Senators in front of the T-Bolts. Second meeting between these two on the year. Southern Maryland won at 7-6 back on June the 16th. Emilio Rodriguez back out for his third inning of work. He surrendered 2 runs over his first 2, but his fourth inning was scoreless, and now he'll face a weaker part of the order, 6, 7, 8. Jackson Hayes, Joey Todd, and Jack Ewert. Rain has seemingly subsided here at Blair. Still a heavy mist in the air and a cloud cover that we've seen for the past couple of days. First pitch slider misses high and in by Rodriguez to Jackson Hayes. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the third, and walked and scored in the second. 1-0, Rodriguez drops a beautiful curveball in there for strike 1.
We may never run out of thunder and lightning puns to describe the weather that seems to subside this team every summer.
Played a part last summer, is playing a part again here. Under the glove of Camacho, but Acosta on the backup. Nice strong throw to nab him.
And that's the North Florida shortstop right there, Jonah Acosta. We were talking about him earlier, just one of the more complete players on the team, and you're seeing it right there with the glove, able to back up an otherwise very well-fielding Sam Camacho.
Those two with so much chemistry, both coming up from the greater Miami area, played against each other in high school, and were originally both in North Florida before Camacho ended up going up to Clarion, a Division II in Pennsylvania. Acosta helps him out there and picks up the first out. Called strike on the 7-hitter, Joey Todd. He's reached twice on a walk and a hit by pitch. Oh, one is fouled off, 0-2. Nick, I don't know if we ever got to introduce you. You kind of just showed up. You said, can I come on? We said, sure. But for the people at home who maybe aren't as familiar, just tell the people a little bit about who you are, what you do for the team, and what qualifies you to be wearing the headset.
So obviously, for those who have been longtime listeners, you may recognize my voice. I was a radio broadcast intern during the 2023 season, and this year I've returned to do social media, Instagram, Twitter. So the stuff you see out on the social medias, that is my doing.
Counts 2-2 on Joey Todd. The left-hander chucks a piece of equipment to the side. Yeah, Nick, you've been doing a great job with the social media, all the graphics, the lineups, and the creative captions have been what I'm most a fan of. Rodriguez puts Todd down on strikes, gets a backwards K for his 5th strikeout of his outing. 2 away in the 5th. Nick, if you had to pick one theme or caption or idea that you've been most proud of this season, is there one that comes to mind? I know in the broadcast we've talked a lot about your Dr. Dre puns when Christian Dre goes on the mound for the T-Bolts, but is there any that stands out to you over the first 3 weeks or so?
Well, I really love the Dr. Dre, as you said, and that was Max Eckert who helped push that one along, the third base coach for the T-Bolts.
Fly ball in the center, and Rodriguez is going to cut your story short, but a clean inning. Emilio has now faced the minimum over the last 2 frames, keeping things at 7-2. Collects a strikeout and a couple of fly balls in that frame. Through the top of the 5th, it is still 7-2. Senators trying to hold this lead after these words from our sponsors.
Silver Spring Jewelry is the Washington area's only complete jewelry store with a staff of 13 jewelry associates and 8 goldsmiths. Now in 3 locations in Tacoma Park, White Oak, and Silver Spring, being family owned and operated since 1971. Silver Spring Jewelry specializes in diamonds, custom engagement rings, repairs, engravings, and cash for gold. Go to silverspringjewelers.com for more information. Silver Spring Jewelry, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. SkyPoint Federal Credit Union, they make banking simple. SkyPoint believes banking should be easy to understand, personalized, and focused on making a community a better place. Whether you're opening your first account or planning for your future, SkyPoint has the financial tools to help you hit it out of the park. SkyPoint Federal Credit Union, they make banking simple. Visit SkyPoint's branch in Silver Spring. SkyPoint Federal Credit Union, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Bottom of the 5th, you're at Blair. Tyler Van Dyke goes back to the hill for the Southern Maryland Senators. True freshman Tyler Van Dyke out of Mountain View High School in Virginia. He'll attend the Virginia Military Institute come the fall and play for the Keydets in the spring. The left-hander is now through 2 innings of 1-run baseball. He's had a good start to his season. Had 1 rough outing on June 21st against the DC Grays, giving up 5 runs in 4 innings, but other than that, he has been really solid out of the Southern Maryland bullpen. 8-9-1 due up. Kai Schmelzer, Matt Kim, and Gabe Pagase trying to get things going and fight back from this 5-run deficit. I'm Peter Kelly, joined again by Patrick Moran, taking back over after Nick Ronholm turned in a solid 2 innings of color commentary. Always a pleasure to welcome Nick on, the former T-Bolt broadcaster himself. But Patrick, back with us now. And not much has happened, to be honest, since we last talked to you. Not a run has been scored since the 3rd inning. The last 3 half innings have come and gone pretty quietly. T-Bolts did bring 4 to the plate last inning, thanks to a Griffin Pouvel double, but they could not bring him home. As we get deeper into this game, it'll only go 7 innings, so time is starting to run out. Just 3 outs for Southern Maryland to get to beat the T-Bolts for the 2nd time this year. What do we need to see out of the offense to just kind of get back in their groove after they've been out of it for a couple days?
Well, I like the fact that the 2 runs, they've had so far, they came on productive outs, and obviously that's good if you're just, looking to have a consistent run output. But, I want to see the T-Bolts have a little more, boom or bust potential and take that risk. And while you kind of need to balance, the moving runners around and the big hits, I think blending the two is really the biggest thing that the Thunderbolts can do. And, of course, it's great to hear from Nick. He's doing a wonderful job on the social medias across all of our accounts. So huge hats off to him and the work he's doing.
Here's Matthew Kim, the second baseman, hitting right-handed. Takes a strike right down Broadway. Kai Schmelzer just worked a 5-pitch walk to reach. The backstop has struggled a bit at the plate this season, hitting just 111, but has an on-base percentage nearing 300. He's impacted the game in a number of ways, both with the glove and with the discipline. And he now takes his lead off of first base as Kim fouls a pitch off to make it 0-2.
And like you said, the Thunderbolts need to have more of a sense of urgency because this game is coming down the wire a little bit, which is crazy to say in the bottom of the fifth, but that's just the nature of it. 7-inning doubleheaders here in the Ripken League force teams to try and be, more productive early.
Only 3 innings remain in this contest. It has gone by really quickly, had a 45-minute delay, but we've played about an hour 15 of pretty quick baseball. Fouled off by Kim, keeping us at 0-2. Big at-bat for Matthew Kim here. He fouled out to the first baseman back in the 3rd inning. But if he can reach here, or at least do something that only results in 1 out, he can get the top of the order back up. Gabe Pegues, the leadoff hitter, stands in the on-deck circle, and he tripled in his last time up. Kim trying to keep things alive and give him a chance to contribute. He works the ball there to make it 1-2.
And that's what makes Matthew Kim so good, is that when he's right, he can really extend the top of the lineup and turn things over in a really productive way, just getting on base any way he can. And that's going to set up guys like Gabe Pegues, Connor Fricke, Jonah Costa, Nolan Cutney really well, who are looking driving runners.
Kim belts the ball through the left side. Schmelzer goes one base. The perfect scenario for Matthew Kim to turn things over. And Gabriel Pegues, with 13 RBI on the season and 10 extra base hits, will stand in with nobody out, 2 aboard, and the T-Bolts with a chance to slice into this deficit.
Quite frankly, in this lineup, there's nobody I'd rather have at the plate right now than Gabe Pegues with the way he's rolling. Just smashed a triple his last time up, and he can do some serious damage. He's got 2 homers on the season. I'm excited to see what he can do with runners on base to try and score him.
Mound visit here as Southern Maryland's head coach Sean Middleton talks it over with the young left-hander Tyler Van Dyke. Pegues went backside for a 3-bagger in the 3rd. His laser out towards right field eventually ended up scoring him. 1 batter later, Fricke grounded out to second base to score the T-Bolts' 2nd run of the day. That was the last time a run crossed home plate in this contest. But Gabe's got a chance to change that fact. Kai Schmelzer, the lead runner at second base. Not the best speed, but can get around the bases. Matthew Kim behind him at first base. A bigger speed threat. Notable because a double has a chance to score 2.
And of course, you mentioned that, Van Dyke's going to VMI. And I noted on the last broadcast, VMI is non-committal. So you do not have to go into the military if you go to the Virginia Military Institute. It is just it can be a 4-year school, or you can, take your path to military that way.
Count no balls and 1 strikes in this lefty-righty matchup. Van Dyke gives Kai 2 looks, now steps off. That's 1 disengagement for Tyler Van Dyke. Pretty standard rules, similar to what happens in Major League Baseball. There's a limited number of disengagements for the pitcher on the mound before they have to pick the runner off. A 1 fastball misses low and away to Gabe. He's 1 for 2, had that triple in the 3rd, but flew out to center field in the 1st inning. In Game 1 against Southern Maryland 9 days ago, Pegues was 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. 1-1 in the dirt for ball 2.
Now Gabe is back on his feet. Saw a couple of, reps at the DH spot, back-to-back games on the 24th and 25th in the leadoff spot. Now he's just playing in center field when I was originally thought that he was ticketed for a corner outfield spot.
2-1 slider barely grazes the zone. And the count evens up at 2-2. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th inning. Just a 7-inning contest in game 1 of 2 in a doubleheader. Game 2 was estimated to start around 7. That won't happen at this rate. We'll see when it does start. Hopefully the rain can stay in the sky. 2-2, Pegues launches it deep down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. Another long strike off the bat of Gabe Pegues. And Van Dyke and the Senators dugout grateful that that one wasn't 15 feet to the right.
And Pegues has that thump, so we've seen a couple of, foul ball home runs, if you want to call it that. You just got to straighten it out a little bit. This Pegues was a little bit out in front against the lefty in an advantage situation.
2-2 bounces to run the count full. On deck, Connor Fricke. 0 for his last 7, but is one of the T-Bolts' best hitters, batting .356. Then it's Jonah Acosta, who's been Mr. Consistent. He's due up 3rd. Still with nobody out, so there's a good chance we see him. 3-2, Gabe just gets a piece and stays alive.
Be huge for Pegues to avoid an out. Whether he draws that walk, gets a hit, whatever way he does it, just keeping the line moving, whatever that looks like, would be huge for the T-Bolts right now.
We'll try this again. 3 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Fastball outside for ball 4. Gabe works a gritty at bat to reach on a 7-pitch walk. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Sean Middleton is going to make a call to the Senators bullpen as Connor Fricke looms.
Well, Connor Fricke has been a great run producer this season in his limited action. He was a late addition to the roster, but immediate impact he has made for the T-Bolts coming out of Babson College. And this is as good of a spot as ever. The T-Bolts need to capitalize. The 5 runs are a little bit steep, but when you have these spots and you can come through, that is what allows you to get back in the ballgame.
Bases loaded in the 5th, nobody out. Senators will turn to their bullpen, and on to do the stopping is going to be number 23, Chet Cosner from Franklin and Marshall, the sophomore right-hander from Ashburn, Virginia, just down the road and across the Potomac. This year at F&M, Cosner went 10 appearances, 19 innings, ERA just a shade over 6, striking out 14 against 16 walks. He comes in a very, very tough spot. Tyler Van Dyke had a good first 2 innings, giving up just 1 run, but in the 3rd he goes walk, single walk to load the bases and force a lot out of Chet Cosner. The righty warming up now on a tattered mound, has thrown 5 innings this year for the Senators, ERA of 9. His last time out June 20th against the only Crop Dusters in game 2 of a doubleheader. He went just 1/3 of an inning, getting just 1 out, but surrendering 5 runs. 3 of them were earned in what was by far his roughest outing of the season. Does anything change here for this meat of the T-Bolts order? Fricke, Acosta, Kutney. It's a tough situation, and you're down 5. You want to get those runs across, but do you find yourself overthinking it a bit with the new pitcher on the mound?
No, I think the key mindset here is to just pass the torch. Fricke, Acosta, and Kutney can do some serious damage at their best, but it's going to be productive if the T-Bolts get a lot of runs out of this situation. So, it is going to be tough going from a lefty on the mound to a righty, but I have the confidence that these guys can, pull it together. And Connor Fricke, who's going to kick things off for a scoring chance, he's got 12 RBIs in 14 games. So he is clearly someone that can produce a lot of runs here in the middle-ish part of the order.
First pitch to Fricke in the air, right side. First baseman Hayes over towards the fence, but watches it go towards the bullpen. Strike 1 on Connor Fricke, hitting .356 for the first baseman from Colorado and attending Babson University up in New England. Fricke has done so many things well this year. He's walked 17 times, only struck out 11, and has those 12 RBI. He takes a pitch low and outside to even things up at 1-1.
And this is the part where you have to balance the productive outs and, the big-time hits. Connor Fricke needs to find some grass on a single, double, whatever it is, and get multiple runs in. Obviously, you can still take, a sacrifice fly or a fielder's choice, but that kind of kills momentum. That kind of kills a rally. And what is going to fan the fire is, a clutch base hit.
1 ball and 2 strikes against the first baseman, Connor Fricke. Bases are juiced. Cosner comes home, and Fricke takes strike 3. He looked like he was going to offer at it, but holds his blue bat head back and watches the slider drift right over the outer third of the zone. 1 away, but Acosta at the plate. Threat not neutralized in the slightest. Bases still loaded. Tying run is on deck. It's Nolan Kutney swinging around his bat with the weight on it. But Acosta can give Kutney a chance to provide a huge swing and tie things up. First pitch of the shortstop. Jonah is lifted out towards right center, and it gets down. Here's 1 run in. Matt Kim is waved home. The throw goes to second. 2-run single for Jonah makes it 7-4.
And that's what it is right there. That is a big-time hit. You're scoring 2 on that play. And just like that, the Thunderbolts are back in this ballgame 7-4. There's only a 3-run deficit now. And Acosta just dropped the barrel on that one. Got it out into the right center gap. I'm surprised he didn't go for 2 with his speed. But kind of having that mindset of he knows he can potentially steal that base instead rather than potentially getting gunned out at second. So now it's going to bring up Nolan Kutney, who someone I think is due. He was really good last summer, hit around 290. I looked at the stats recently in 2025. So Kutney is someone who's a veteran that can come through right now.
First pitch, a fastball high to Nolan Kutney, batting with the runners on the corners, and he stands in the righty batter's box as officially the tying run. 7-4 after Jonah's first pitch single. Kutney evens things up at 1-1. You could just see how simple it was from Jonah, just sending the bat head at it, not wasting any time. When Nick was on the call a couple innings ago, he said the first pitch is often the best pitch you're going to get. And Jonah acknowledging it, realizing it, and sending in that 2-run single. 1-1 from Cosner. Kutney in the air, right side, and foul.
Yeah, Nick made a great point. I mean, hitters that have a ton of respect, they're going to see maybe 1 or 2 fastballs in the at-bat. And more often than not, it is that, first pitch or 2, that pitchers want to establish the zone. And they can work off of a good fastball. So
Slider is yanked by Chet Cosner. A lunge from the catcher, Zach Anderson, to keep Gabe Pegues at third base. If a ball gets to the backstop, Gabe's probably going to take off. He's got 12 stolen bases this year. We'll see if Jonah will go at some point, too. He's 14 for 14 to lead the Ripken League. 2-2. Kutney drives it center field. It hangs up for Carlson, but should bring home Gabe. James catches it in deep center field, but it's now 7-5. Not a base hit, but probably the next best thing for Nolan Kutney. 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. T-Bolts have scored 3 in the inning, and the tying run will bat again. This time it's Griffin Puval, who's been on base twice, and a double in the 4th.
Again, this is it. This is how you manage to have both, a big hit and a productive out. Nolan Kutney getting the sacrifice fly in a spot where that was, acceptable. And Jonah Acosta coming through with the bases loaded. That is marrying the two. And, those are the 2 main ways to score runs in this league. You're not going to see the long ball that often. And the T-Bolts that is it right there. Just the cohesion between those 2 types of small ball right there.
1-0, Griffin taps it foul. Puval a double in the 4th, a 2-base error in the 2nd inning. In that frame, he came around and scored on a RBI Camacho ground out. 1 ball and 1 strike against the 6'5" right fielder from Rider University. Acosta taking the lead off of first base, hasn't gone yet, won't here. Griffin taps it foul again. A bit surprised Jonah hasn't gone yet.
Yeah.
He's perfect on the season, 14 out of 14. And the catcher Anderson has only thrown out 11% of runners this season. But with the ground a little bit slick because of the weather, safety is 100% the priority. So if it's not the ideal conditions, no reason to risk anything. Puval reaches out, taps it to short. They're going to flip to the bag at second for the final out of that inning. 7-5, T-Bolts get 3 runs closer, but have just 6 outs before they will be snuffed away by the Crop Dusters. Or not the Crop Dusters, I'm so used to them, the Southern Maryland Senators. Heading to the top of the 6th inning, Rodriguez back out with a 7-5 deficit.
Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland, helps people turn their dreams into their new forever home. Whether it's a renovation, addition, or a new home, Ben will assist you in picking colors and finishes. He'll explain building codes, zoning requirements, and materials that stress energy efficiency. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center in downtown Silver Spring presents the best in American and world cinema. They show classic American mysteries from the black and white era as well as the most modern digital content from around the world. The AFI Silver Theater also features filmmaker interviews, panel discussions, musical performances, and more. The AFI Silver Theater at 8633 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Top of the 6th inning here at Montgomery Blair High School. Senators bring up 9-1-2 against Emilio Rodriguez, the righty from LaSalle University, back out for his 4th inning. Has only given up 2 runs to his name, striking out 6 and just surrendering 1 walk. But the first batter he faces here is a guy that really got to him back in the 5-run 3rd inning. Josh Saronis sent a 400-foot grand slam over the right field wall to bust this one open in favor of the Senators. That's how they got to their 7 runs. They haven't scored since, but they haven't really needed to. Josh gave them a big-time insurance swing to put them up 7-0. Or 7-1, excuse me.
At the time, yeah.
Josh swings and misses, making it 0-2. In addition to that grand slam, Saronis popped out to the shortstop in the 2nd, but he's not going to remember that at bat. He's going to remember the big fly. 0-2 fastballs high and away.
Rodriguez on a really good track right now, similar to Tristan Merritt, who threw against the Crop Dusters last night, covering 3 1/3 innings. Rodriguez, if he's able to get through 6 right now, that would be huge out of the bullpen.
He gets Saronis to swing and miss there, make it 7 strikeouts in 3 1/3 for Emilio.
Now batting number 8.
Oh, just a great pitch. I mean, Rodriguez has got his off speeds and breaking pitches working, and you can kind of see the polish more often than not on the D1 arms, competing at a higher level. Now that Rodriguez is settling in, he is dialed in.
First pitch gets away from Rodriguez against the leadoff hitter Chase Fulford, who has reached 3 times today. A pair of walks and a single in the 1st. Batting for the first time since the 3rd inning. Rodriguez has faced the minimum over the last 8, and the reason I don't say he retired the last 8 is because Zach Anderson singled in the 4th, but then was caught stealing. So Anderson has not allowed too much traffic over his outing. Misses high with a breaker, and it's an advantage Chase Fulford, who has one of the best batting averages on the Senators team, coming in hitting .340 in Game 1 against the T-Bolts. He was 1 for 4 with a walk. Foul ball makes it 2-2. Game 1 out of 2 in a doubleheader. Had a 45-minute delay before we restarted this one. Came in the top of the 3rd inning. But the rain has really held off. The sky has not gotten any better, not in the slightest, and the field's still in really rough shape. Weather app is saying flood watch, but it's not saying rain in the forecast, at least for the moment. And we hope that will subside so that we can squeeze in both games of this doubleheader. 6-pitch walk to Chase Fulford. Third free pass for him today. Puts a man on with 1 out here in the 6th for a Southern Maryland team that hasn't scored in the past 2 innings.
Rodriguez threw a ton of pitches up in that at-bat. Fulford kind of had to duck a few times. So Rodriguez might need to aim down a little bit, more so in the zone, and establish his stuff there.
Called strike on Braylon Gonzalez, the right fielder, batting second. He has struck out twice today. One of them came against Rodriguez to end the 3rd inning. That one was a backwards K for Gonzalez. The right fielder from Binghamton takes a ball down low.
Back-to-back Binghamton guys, Fulford and Gonzalez.
3 of the first 4, Fulford, Gonzalez, and Anderson, who's in the hole, all from the Binghamton Bearcats team that also got to a regional. Strike 1 called. Gonzalez played a fair amount for that Binghamton team. Batting second today. He started 41 games for the Bearcats. He walked a ton. He walked 41 times in 41 games. Swing and a miss. Fulford goes, and the throw is on a line, and he's gone. Schmelzer catches his second runner stealing of the day, and it's a strike him out, throw him out to end the 6th. 7-5, Senators in front, but Silver Spring Tacoma with all the momentum as we head to the bottom of the 6th after these words from our sponsors.
Koa Sports in Gaithersburg, Maryland is committed to shaping kids' lives through sports. Koa Sports aims to develop each child to their full potential as an athlete and as a person. They also help your student-athlete in the classroom, on the playing field, and anywhere in between. Learn more about Koa Sports at koasports.com, or org. Koa Sports is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Parkview Capital believes your financial strategy should reflect more than the numbers. It should reflect you. As a trusted investment advisory firm, Parkview Capital partners with individuals and families to build and protect wealth. Parkview Capital personalizes strategies rooted in your values and long-term goals. Whether you're growing your portfolio or preserving a legacy, Parkview Capital crafts a clear, customized path to your financial future, one that evolves with you. Parkview Capital, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Bottom of the 6th inning. 7-5, the South Division leading Senators have hold on to this lead through the first 5.5. But Silver Spring Tacoma has scored the last 4 runs, including 3 in the last inning. And they'll do it against the same arm that they finished off the frame against, Chet Cosner from Franklin and Marshall going back out to the hill. For the Senators, 7 runs on 6 hits with 1 error. Silver Spring Tacoma, 5 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. If they can close this one out without a misplay in the field, it would be their 2nd straight game without recording an error, which would be a season-high streak for a team that commits more errors than any other in the league. 6, 7, and 8. Cameron Baker, followed by Sam Camacho and Kai Schmelzer. That part of the order is 0 for 5 with a Schmelzer walk that came in the previous inning and started a 3-run rally. Baker 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. The left fielder from Indian River State batting 6th and hitting from the right side. Going against the righty Cosner, who drops in a changeup as the first pitch of the inning that misses inside to make the count 1-0.
Of course, what do you know, he previously spent time at Frederick Community College, which is where the T-Bolts get a lot of their guys from.
He sends this one back up the middle in the center field, just past the dive of Chase Fulford at short. Leadoff single for Cameron Baker. 2nd straight inning with a leadoff man on. And if there was ever a time to do it, it would be right now. Just 2 innings remaining in this 7-inning contest as game 1 of the doubleheader. Camacho coming to the plate has a pair of 5-3 groundouts for the 3rd baseman from Clarion. He'll bat right-handed and try to bring around the runner at first base, get him closer to scoring the 6th run. T-Bolts have brought up the tying run to the plate 4 times over the last 2 innings, and Camacho will try and do the same, although he swings and misses there against the fastball from Cosner.
Such a huge way to set the table for Cameron Baker to pick up that single. Got by a diving Chase Fulford.
Runner goes, pitches a ball, throw down is good, but it's off the glove of the second baseman, Cole Rame. Baker swipes second. He's now 8 for 8 in stolen bags this season. Runner in scoring position for Camacho and a 1-1 count.
Don't look now, but the T-Bolts are getting a little hot. Camacho with a big opportunity here. We saw him in Alexandria in game 1 have a huge 2-run double late. So maybe he's a 7-inning game guy. Just pretend that every game is 7 innings.
Pops this one foul to make it 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, the catcher Schmelzer, 0 for 1 with a walk. Matthew Kim is behind him. He's got a hit today. Here's a 1-2 from Cosner. Slider that almost grazes Camacho. He moves his hands out of the way to take ball 2. Just a 2-run ball game. This game was 7-1 in the third after Saronis' grand slam. It felt like it was over, but the T-Bolts have been battling back. Fouled straight up by Camacho. It's going to drift out of play, keeping the count where it is.
T-Bolts simply said, hold the phone. They're not done yet. Here in this one, they've brought it within 2, which is really impressive given that initial score that you said. So, the fact that they have come this close to bringing the tying run to the plate is really impressive for a team that suffered a lot of blowout losses at the outset of this year.
Baker goes and he gets third base without a throw. Camacho taking ball 3 there on a slider that misses outside. Baker has now stolen second and third, and now a fly ball can do a job for Sam Camacho, although he wants a little bit more than that with nobody out. 3-2. Goes the other way, and it's going to drop in right field. Sam brings us within 1 as Griffin Pouvel comes around and scores the 6th run. Actually, it's Cam Baker who comes around and scores, but Camacho nevertheless doing the job and brings up Kai Schmelzer, the youngest player on the T-Bolts, with a chance for one of the biggest swings of the year.
Well, I got that comp stuck in your head between Griffin Pouvel and Cam Baker. But Baker just kind of fought his way through the base paths, scrapped it, and 2 stolen bases. Really impressive effort for him to come around and score.
Camacho takes a lead off of first base. Pitch misses low and away to make it a 1-1 count against Kai Schmelzer. Popped down to the shortstop in the second inning, drew a walk in the 5th. Came around and scored one of 3 runs in the inning. 7-6. Kai fouls it off 1-2.
Now, I've mentioned this on the broadcast with Brian and Sam, but Kai's birthday is actually 6 days after mine. So when I saw that, I kind of had to reflect on all my life choices up to this point.
1-2. Slider just misses. Home plate umpire Tim Anderson doesn't give the call. Count level at 2-2. One arm moving in the Senators' bullpen. Cosner gets recorded out in the frame. 2-2 pitch is hit backside and through. Sam's going to stop at second. Kai Schmelzer with a single. And the go-ahead run is now on the base paths for Matthew Kim.
That's 3 straight singles for the T-Bolts and a wise decision for Camacho to hold at second. That throw got in quickly, and there's still nobody out. So a lot of room to work with for the T-Bolts. Got to avoid that ground ball double play. But right now, those bats are hot.
Quick talking over between Matthew Kim and manager Brock Hunter.
Got to go over the game plan a little bit.
Coming into this game, Chet Cosner, the current Senator pitcher, had only one outing where he had surrendered at least 3 hits. And now today he's given up 4. And it's given the T-Bolts life in the 6th. They find themselves down just 1 run. They have scored 5 unanswered after a grand slam in the top of the 3rd. Kim squares, misses, and it's tipped into the mid for strike 1.
I really like the idea from Matthew Kim. You're only down 1. He's a guy that can get a bunt down, and with his speed, can cause the defenders to, rush their process to get him out at first. So if he's able to get it down, anything can happen.
A 1 misses high, 1-1 against the 9-hitter playing second base, Matthew Kim. A single in the 5th, a foul out in the 3rd. Kim hitting .320 on this season. Last year hit just .268, and at Hampton-Sydney in the spring, batting just .192. But he has found a new stroke in a T-Bolts jersey in 2026, and he stands in from the right side, tying run at second base, go ahead at first. Cosner comes home and Kim crushes it. Left fielder Saronis goes back. He's under it and he makes the catch. Camacho's going to tag riskily and he'll go to third base. A very heavy air really slows that baseball down. But it puts runners in the corners with just 1 out for Gabriel Pegues, one of the best hitters on this team.
Just really smart baseball all around. Matthew Kim able to elevate it enough, drive it deep out to left field for that sacrifice fly. And then Camacho having the wherewithal to go back to second, make sure he had that option to tag up, and that he did. And Camacho's build does not scream speed, but when you have the good instincts, you can really, utilize it, and that he did. Huge props to Camacho, who was able to just advance to third and make it a productive out.
Tying a run just 90 feet out for this new arm out of the Southern Maryland bullpen. Number 32, Logan Harrelson from Millersville, a school that the T-Bolts are quite familiar with. Brady Grimes, Caleb Sturdivant, Marco Polizzi, all Marauders. And now on the other side, Harrelson enters through 12 times this year for the D2 school in PA. Had an ERA a shade under 10. He'll come in relief of Chet Cosner. Can't close the book on him yet. Both runners on base can be attributed to Cosner. This arm, the 4th of the day for Southern Maryland. Harrelson throwing for the 5th time this year. Last time out against the SoCo Braves was his best time out of the season. 2 innings, 1 hit, nobody scored, and 4 strikeouts, equaling a season high. He's a strikeout pitcher. He struck out 15 batters in 8.2 this year, but his ERA is north of 10. Power stuff from the left-hander from Montville, Pennsylvania, but can he command it has been the question. A whip over 2.
I don't know about you, but Pat, in terms of the eye test for me, I know we're both those fans. This looks like Grant Wolfram currently at the big league level. Just big frame, maybe a bit of a lank machine, similar, delivery. And, hey, Grant Wolfram was a pretty good reliever in the big leagues at his best. So, now he's got to face the top of the order, Logan Harrelson. So, he's got a tall task ahead of him.
Harrelson will face the very top of it. 1, 2, and 3. Gabe Pegues, Connor Fricke, Jonah Acosta. 2 on the base paths. Camacho at third base after he just tagged up on a Kim sack fly. And Schmelzer did not advance. He's still at first base. The young catcher, 3 bases away from giving the T-Bolts the lead. And here's Gabriel Pegues. 1 for 2. The only hit was a triple back in the 3rd inning. He walked and scored in the 5th as well.
Nobody better in this spot. And if you're the T-Bolts, you have to be wary of that ground ball. It could potentially end the inning.
First pitch fastball catches the zone from Harrelson to start off his outing right. Only one person in the Ripken League has more hits for extra bases than Gabriel Pegues. It's Cal Johnson of the Big Train, but Gabe hit his 10th of the season earlier today. He takes a fastball inside to make the count 1-1. An extra base hit has a chance to give the T-Bolts the lead. Any kind of hit would tie this game at 7. A lot of outcomes can bring Camacho home from third. Left-hander Harrelson deals and Gabe comes up empty. Well, he may have just gotten a piece, but it's a strike nonetheless, and it's 1-2.
Pegues has just been so good at the top of this order, and there would be no better time for him to come through in this spot.
2 on, 1 out. Bolts down by just 1 run. They have scored 5 unanswered. Harrelson throws over and not in time for Smelzer. One ball, 2 strikes. 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. 1 on the board in the frame already for Silver Spring. Pegues fouls it back, keeping the count still.
I'm surprised that maybe they didn't think about pitching around Pegues right now, the way he's rolling at the plate. You have that base open, and you could bring in the force on any base, but of course the intentional walk doesn't normally do a lot of good.
1-2 fastball is outside. Schmelzer goes to second, and he takes it without any difficulty. First stolen base attempt of the year for Kai Schmelzer. He hustles down to second base. And now maybe you think a little bit more about putting Gabe on with first base open. Second and third, go ahead run just 2 bases away. Fastball is hammered. Deep left field by Pegues. Saronis goes back. He now parks and gloves it. Camacho tagging from third. He's going to score, and we are all new at 7.
Excellent work. Pegues took some tough pitches, waited for his, and he got it. Just elevated to left field. It was way deep enough for Camacho to comfortably tag. It was so deep that Schmelzer even thought about it, going from second to third, which ultimately held up, but just an ultimate team at bat there from Pegues.
Here's Connor Fricke, who's 0 for 3. He jumps on the first pitch out towards left field. Long run for Saronis, but he's there. And it ends the inning, but not before the T-Bolts get 2. They've scored 6 in a row to tie us at 7, heading to the 7th and final inning in game 1 of 2. T-Bolts will turn back to Emilio Rodriguez for his 5th inning of work in relief. Just 6 more outs before we will see a winner. Tied up at 7 after these words from our sponsors.
Dan Metcalf has long been a supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Now he's at a new location, the Finn Family Group of Perennial Real Estate. If you want to find that perfect home in the perfect community, the Finn Family Group is for you. The Finn Family Group believes in community, and they bring that sense of community when working with clients to find homes in the Silver Spring Tacoma Park area. Call them today at 301-450-6999. Once again, that is 301-450-6999. The Finn Family Group, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The Athletic House on 18952 Bonanza Way in Gaithersburg is a promotional product distributor making mugs, pens, and t-shirts for advisors. The Athletic House can supply your company with every possible promotional product from 3,000 suppliers. With so many ad specialties available, the Athletic House can help leave a lasting impression with your customers, and they will create long-lasting relationships with your clients. The Athletic House, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Top of the 7th inning at Montgomery Blair High School. This game was won 7-1 in favor of the Senators. It's now tied up at 7. Here in the top of the 7th, Emilio Rodriguez back on the hill for Silver Spring. And what a job he's done out of the bullpen. 4 innings so far, just 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 free passes on only 64 pitches. It's the meat and potatoes up for Southern Maryland. James Carlson, Zach Anderson, Cole Rame, 3, 4, and 5. Carlson today 0 for 2 with a strikeout against Rodriguez back in the 4th inning. But he did walk to start off a 5-run 3rd inning. The only time he's been aboard today. Senators haven't scored since the third inning, but if they want to pull out their 15th win, they will need to score at some point. They could not get out of this one early, as Silver Spring scored 5 in the third, 3 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth. 2-0 fastball is a tad high. 3 balls and no strikes against James Carlson. Rodriguez from the windup. The right-hander deals, catches the zone for strike 1.
Carlson coming out of Youngstown State for the Penguins. I don't know if there's a cooler, school mascot than the Penguins, but he had 43 games with them. So a lot of reps. However, only 25 of those games were starts.
Strike 2 call on a breaker against James Carlson. Rodriguez has fought back from being down 3-0. His full count pitch is lifted foul. Would have been strike 3, but Carlson recognized the need to fend that one off. The tall and lanky right-handed bat, 6'5", playing center field for much of this season for the Senators. 3-2. Curveball just high. Rodriguez wanted it, would have been his 9th K, but instead it's a well-deserved walk from James Carlson to start off the 7th.
Rodriguez was really hoping to land that pitch and get the call. However, Carlson just laid off of that pitch. That's going to put the leadoff man on.
Brock Hunter, the manager, out. I think Rodriguez is going to have a bit more of a leash. Still keeping the pitch count low. Now it's 71 on his day in 4 innings of work. First visit of the inning for Brock Hunter. If he goes out again, he'll have to take Emilio out. There is not an arm currently throwing in the Silver Spring bullpen, although a couple of guys down there and maybe someone is ready to go, but Rodriguez is going to stay in at this juncture. He'll face someone that the T-Bolts have not gotten out today. The catcher, Zach Anderson, came in hitting just .227, but he's 3 for 3 with 3 singles to the left field side.
Hey, I know we had the starting pitching conversation earlier, but if Rodriguez is being built up like this, he can absolutely make an impact in that, room if Brock Hunter is trusting him to throw this long out of the bullpen.
First pitch, a called strike to Zach Anderson. Catcher hitting cleanup from Binghamton University. Hit a home run in a regional this year against Wake Forest. Runner goes, Anderson swings and misses. Schmelzer throw down is just barely not in time. A really good stop by Matthew Kim, the second baseman, to avoid it getting into center. Kai Schmelzer has caught 2 runners today, but not Carlson on that occasion. James now 8 for 10 on the season.
I was going to say, huge kudos to Matthew Kim for making the pick, for it not to go into the outfield and potentially risk that runner going to third.
Curveball misses just low. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Zach Anderson, 3 for 3 with 3 singles. On deck, Cole Rame. He's 0 for 2. Rodriguez kicks and fires, and it's on the ground to third. High hop to Camacho with no trouble, gets it over to first. Sam has been a busy man on both sides, but makes that play look simple for the first out.
And I think it's huge for that runner to stay at second. Can't really move in that spot when it's hit to the left side of the infield, and Camacho knew how to play that hop. He was kind of died a little bit on the grass, given the density out here with the rain and such, and just played it correctly, and the defense has come such a long way for him.
1 away, first pitch to Cole Rame is a fastball high. Rame, the second baseman from Richmond, Didn't see any time this year for the Spiders, but graduated from Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas back in 2025. He's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch once. That came in the 3rd inning. That was the last batter before Emilio Rodriguez came in. So only the second time that these two have faced off, Rodriguez got the better of Cole with a backwards K to end the 4th.
Again, Emilio's off-speed stuff and breaking balls are so good.
1-1 curveball again, and this catches the zone again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Emilio Rodriguez displaying the full arsenal, but his best pitch tonight has been that curveball. 12-6, it drops straight down out of the sky of the undersized right-hander Emilio Rodriguez. He gives a glance, now comes home on a 1-2, and it's another curveball, and this one is picture perfect. 9 strikeouts for Rodriguez out of the pen.
This has been a phenomenal outing for Rodriguez. I know that the Grand Slam was tagged to him, but not a lot of those runners he was responsible for. And it's just so unique. He's able to land the curveball majority of the time, and the fastball kind of works off of it. You see it again, but, you know, that can work. You do what you got to do. If that's going to make you successful, you know, play to your strength.
0-1 count against Jackson Hayes, the first baseman, batting 6th. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. James Carlson walked to start off the inning. Stole second base, but hasn't moved since. Rodriguez trying to strand him there and keep this game tied to give the Bolts a chance to walk it all for the second time this week. 1-1 almost hits him. Goes to a breaker again, and it just misses the jersey of Jackson Hayes. Count 2 balls and 1 strikes. Hayes, the best on-base percentage in the Ripken League, .615 coming into today. He's been on base 1 out of 3 times. Struck out in the 3rd. He was the first batter to face Rodriguez. Curveball is away for 3 balls and 1 strike. Rodriguez comes home. Curveball catches the zone.
Wow.
Very delayed call and home plate by Tim Anderson, but it benefits the T-Bolts. And now Emilio a strike away. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 7th.
And that curveball is landing right in that spot. You know, the inner third to righties and the outer third to lefties.
3-2 curveball is fouled off. It's really only throwing when he needs to get a strikeout, but it's been beautiful today. Emilio Rodriguez has struck out 9 hitters in his work today. One of them has been Jackson Hayes that came in the 3rd inning. His payoff. Curveball is high for ball 4. Second walk of the inning, 4th of the day for Rodriguez. First and second, 2 outs for Joey Todd, the DH.
Again, if that curveball works, it works. The Ripken League is a perfect place to figure out what your arsenal needs to look like for you to be successful. And if Emilio Rodriguez is feeling that curveball and he knows he can go to it, he knows it's reliable, that's going to make him better as an individual player.
Called strike on Joey Todd. The DH, one of 7 Senators that have struck out against Rodriguez tonight. His K came in the 5th inning. 0-1 is lifted out towards left field, should be playable. Cam Baker stops on a dime and catches out number 3. 5 innings of beautiful work from Emilio Rodriguez. He keeps us tied and will head to the bottom of the 7th. T-Bolts a chance to walk it off for the second time in 4 days after these words from our sponsors.
The Radial Tire Company on 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring specializes in balancing, repair, and installation of your car's tires. The Radial Tire Company is experienced technicians with a commitment to quality service, advanced equipment for balancing and installation, and comprehensive repair options. The Radial Tire Company on 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center at 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton, Maryland has been serving Washington musicians since 1958. Chuck Levin's is a family-run business and is famous for instrument sales and its repair facilities for guitars, woodwinds, brass, strings, and electronics. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center at 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton, Maryland, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Bottom of the 7th, the final inning in Game 1 of this doubleheader between the Senators and the T-Bolts. Two teams that have been polar opposites this season. Southern Maryland 14-7 coming in. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. The T-Bolts 5-15 coming in. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Thunderbolts bottom of the North. Senators top of the South. The left-hander Harrelson comes back out. He finished up the 6th inning, and he'll face off against 3, 4, and 5 in the Thunderbolts order. Jonah Acosta, Nolan Kutney, and Griffin Puvel. Acosta singled in the 5th. That was his last time at the plate. He'll try to set the table here. He's been a leadoff hitter so many times this season, and now a leadoff hitter in this inning. He squares, pulls back, and takes a fastball across the shoulders for a ball.
I think Acosta's the perfect guy to have in this spot. Just knowing that there's a good chance he can get on first base and then potentially steal second. And boom, just like that, you have a runner 180 feet from home.
He tries to bunt for a hit. Harrelson picks it up, flips. It's just barely in time to get Jonah.
Wow.
Acosta not really arguing. It looked like it got there by half a step, and the first base umpire, Matt Binder, agrees. He squares both pitches in that at-bat, drops a bunt down first base side. A really good play by the left-hander, Logan Harrelson, trying to take advantage of the lefty falling off the rubber on the third base side, but Logan recovers nicely and retires Acosta for the first out. First pitch to Nolan Kutney's a fastball outside for ball 1. Kutney 0 for 3, but an RBI sac fly in the 5th inning to score one of the past 6 T-Bolts runs that have all come unanswered. Counts 2-0 against the senior from UMBC, DHing today and hitting cleanup. The left-hander Harrelson deals, and he misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes, all of them outside to the right-hander Kutney. .30 is a get-me-over fastball for strike 1. The bottom of the order has done so well today for the Thunderbolts, starting with Puvel on deck, who had a double in the 4th. They could be the part of the order to do it. Called strike against Kutney. A lot of late calls today at home plate.
Yeah.
It catches the zone for strike 2, and Nolan Kutney is going to grab time and walk this one out with a full count and just 1 out.
Well, I don't think this home plate umpire's making any friends. He's made a lot of late strike calls on potential ball 4s. Maybe the zone has been a little bit subjective in a sense, but hey, you got to make the adjustment. If you're, a hitter or a pitcher, you got to exploit it that day. Umpires, they may not be as consistent with the zone from one guy to the next, but if you know you can get a call that you want, just go exploit it.
3-2 fastball misses outside, and the winning run is on base for Griffin Puvel. Just 1 out in the 7th. And the big righty right fielder will stand in the batter's box facing off against Harrelson. Any batter upcoming could be the one. And Puvel's going to get a first crack at it. Just 3 nights ago on June 24th, the T-Bolts walked off their divisional rivals, the Bethesda Big Train, on a Joey King single in the 7th. First pitch is swung on and popped up in right field by Puvel. Braylon Gonzalez a short jog and catches out number 2. It's now Cam Baker's time. Can he be the one to end this deadlock and give Silver Spring Tacoma the win.
Time to shake and bake, baby.
Cameron Baker from Indian River State, before that Frederick Community College.
Oh, wow.
Played his high school ball in Middletown. Swings and misses there. Count 0-1 against Baker. He's 1 for 3 on the day, singled and scored in the 6th. Pair of flyouts otherwise. Fastball right down the middle, strike 2. If Baker can reach, it'll be Sam Camacho standing on deck to try and win things.
Those two are starting to heat up a little bit. They singled in their last ABs.
0-2 pitches swung on and missed on one that bounces before home plate. Harrelson does his job out of the Senators' bullpen, stranding Kutney as a 1-out runner, and we will head to extras in this game 1 of the doubleheader. Top of the 8th loading, tied up at 7 between the Senators and the T-Bolts.
Wild Bill Sports is all about travel, baseball, and fun. At Wild Bill Sports, travel baseball is the journey players take to develop skills, increase confidence, and grow with integrity, both on and off the field. Wild Bill Sports also promotes community engagement and giving back. Contact Wild Bill Sports at wildbillsports.com. Wild Bill Sports, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring serves up Chop House classics, fresh seafood, Chesapeake Bay oysters, a raw bar, and hyper-seasonal local produce. It has one of the best bars in downtown Silver Spring, serving craft cocktails, beer, and wine. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, it's the 8th inning here at Blair, and in the 7-inning game, the 8th is an extra one. Emilio Rodriguez will end his day. Turned in some of the best pitching work by a T-Bolt this season in just his 2nd appearance, going 5 brilliant innings out of the bullpen. We can close the book on him after we introduce this new pitcher, Wade Hartrick, coming into the game, a two-way player out of UChicago, just wrapping up his freshman year for a Maroons team that had their best season in school history. Hartrick has been a key contributor in this T-Bolts bullpen. He'll appear for the 7th time this year. His last time out came not too long ago. It came on June 24th. Had a chance to get the save against the Bethesda Big Train, but ends up allowing 2 runs and giving the defending champs a lead that the T-Bolts would eventually tie and reclaim to walk things off. But he gets another opportunity here. He has been all over this bullpen planning this year for Coach Brock Hunter. An integral piece, and he'll get a chance here going against the Senators. And he will face off against 8-9-1 Jack Ewert, Josh Saronis, and at the top of the lineup, Chase Fulford.
Now batting number 3, Jack Ewert.
Well, I think Hartrick's fastball is really good. When I remember seeing it in only the first time I was there, and it just had some buzz to it. So he can, maybe be a 1-inning spurts guy, high leverage if it's able to work out. And obviously you see right there a nice swing and a miss on some off speed. So, Hartrick, very interesting how he can play both sides of the battery, and he's really showcasing that athletic talent in both spots so far this season.
0-1 fastball dots the zone for strike 2. He goes slider then fastball to attack Jack Ewert early. The third baseman batting 8th is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Hartrick breathes deep in the windup. He turns 90 degrees, fires. Fastball just misses. Low and outside for ball 1. This game, the first game of a doubleheader against the Senators on this Saturday evening. 1-2 is right back to Hartrick, and the two-way player will take it himself for the first out.
Well, look what I found, Wade Hartrick. just went straight back into the glove, right where it came from, and he made an easy first out. That's what you want to see out of the bullpen off the backs of an amazing Emilio Rodriguez performance here today.
One gone in the 8th. Here's Josh Soronis, the left fielder, with a grand slam today. Came in the top of the 3rd inning. That was the last time Southern Maryland got on the scoreboard. He crushed at this one. Right field, Puval back, but it's a 2-homer day for Josh Soronis, giving the Senators the lead in the 8th.
Well, 2-homer day for him. I'm sure he's feeling good as he trots around the bases, both to similar spots, and this kid's got some juice. Already homering with Wood before he's even set foot on a college campus is quite the feat. So, University of Delaware should be excited to have him.
Josh Soronis, just a ball of muscle. The fastball from Hartrick comes in hard, but when they get the barrel to it, it can go out even harder. Soronis now with 2 shots to right. This one, the first run since the 3rd inning for the Senators, making it 8-7 Southern Maryland. He knew it right away, too. Immediately off his bat, the dugout whooped, and Soronis was able to flip his bat and jog his way around the 4 bags. Here's the leadoff hitter, Chase Fulford. Been aboard all 4 times today with 3 walks. 1-1 the count on the Senator shortstop from Binghamton.
It's kind of just what happens, power on power. If the pitcher throws, a high-octane fastball in there, a hitter can turn it around just as easily.
Count 1-2 in this battle between Hartrick and Fulford. Rain starting to spit again here at Blair. 1-2 is popped foul. These teams have only played 1 time this season. Came back on June the 16th. A game that the Thunderbolts led 6-0 in the 4th. Turned into an eventual 7-6 Senators win. We've seen kind of the opposite today. It was the Senators who had a 6-run lead before the T-Bolts scored 6 unanswered. Running in the foul ground, the right fielder Puval watches it fly into the trees in foul ground. Hartrick threw in that game. He finished it out, went the final inning, and surrendered an eventual walk-off home run to James Carlson. He's due up 3rd after Fulford is done, then Gonzalez, and then Carlson. But Hartrick gave up 1 hit, 1 run in that game, but it ended it. A walk-off win for Southern Maryland. He's now given up 2 home runs against Southern Maryland this year, but he gets Fulford to swing and miss. First time that Chase has been retired today, and it's the first strikeout for Wade, 2 away in the 8th.
Nice pitch from Hartrick. I mean, he can blow up by hitters a little bit in these shorter spurts and can be a really unique weapon on both sides of the ball, behind the plate and on the mound.
2 outs, nobody on. First pitch to Braylon Gonzalez is a ball. Gonzalez 1 for 4, singled in the 2nd, but 3 strikeouts otherwise. 5th time through the Senator lineup in the 8th inning. Extra innings here at Blair in this 7-inning game 1 of a doubleheader. 2-0 count against Gonzalez. Game 2 of the doubleheader is supposed to be 9 innings. It was also supposed to start 40 minutes ago. We're not playing 9 innings in that one. There's rain coming down. We'll see if we start it, but an inning can't start after 10:30. That's the Ripken rule. So we're going to approach that likely way before we get to the 9th, unless we get some record time baseball. But we'll see how that one develops after the conclusion of this one. Gonzalez just singled up the middle for his 2nd hit. 2-out base runner for Southern Maryland. And here's James Carlson, who hit the walk-off homer back on June 16th against Wade Hartrick to lift the Senators to a 1-run victory.
Of course, the rain coming back, starting to drizzle in Silver Spring. I mean, times are tough right now. This is not a picture-perfect day for baseball.
First pitch, Carlson annihilates it, but it's going to hook foul. I mean,
Wow.
that
Yeah.
ball, one of the furthest baseballs I've seen hit here. It was about 25 feet foul. Man, oh man, was that crushed.
Yeah, that one was hit almost out to University Boulevard. If it took a couple of more hops behind the fire station, that was absolutely crushed.
Hartrick goes right back to a heater and drops it in for strike 2. He is just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning.
Yeah. Hartrick's not complaining. He's happy that went foul. It was possibly the longest strike in the history of the Ripken League, but a strike either way.
0-2 got him swinging. Second strikeout for Hartrick ends the top of the 8th. But Southern Maryland scores for the first time since the 3rd, and they do it in the same fashion. Saronis with his second home run of the game gives the Senators a 1-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. T-Bolts need to respond or they'll drop this one after these words from our sponsors.
Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road, number 115 in Silver Spring is your premier in-home pet care service. From dog walks, cat care, overnight stays, pet sitting, and medication administration, Fetch Pet Care provides services tailored to meet your pet's individual needs. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road, number 115 in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The Tacoma Torch, founded in 2019, brings laughter and a sense of fun to residents in the Tacoma Park and DMV area. The Tacoma Torch features satirical articles about the region that those with a sense of humor can appreciate. Send a headline or idea their way to tacomatorch@gmail.com and watch what they do with it. The Tacoma Torch is on the web at tacomatorch.com. Tacoma Torch, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Bottom of the 8th. T-Bolts find themselves in familiar territory, down a run in the final inning of play. Just 3 days ago, T-Bolts were able to score 2 to walk it off against the Bethesda Big Train in the bottom of the 7th in a shortened game and part of a doubleheader. Can they do it again here in extras of a 7-inning game? They'll bring up 7, 8, and 9. Camacho, Schmelzer, and Kim facing off against the new arm for Southern Maryland, Dawson Weatherald, a local product out of St. Mary's Riken. And he will pitch for the 7th time this season. Has not given up a run since June 15th. Has a 3 2/3 scoreless inning streak. Misses downstairs with a fastball. Weatherald takes over for Harrelson. The left-hander goes an inning and 2/3 of scoreless work. Are you surprised, Patrick, that they take out Harrelson after how good he looked?
I think so, but maybe it's an innings management thing. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Harrelson did look good, not allowing a single hit, but hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Senators make that call, and they go for Weatherald out of Mount Aloysius. The senior right-hander has got a 1-1 count on Camacho. Fires in a fastball that catches the zone. Sam doesn't like it. It almost hit him, to be fair. But it's a strike as called by Tim Anderson against Sam Camacho. His last time up had a huge single to keep a rally going in the 6th. He taps this one on the ground left side. Third baseman Ewert cuts it off over to first. Wow. And a big stretch by Jackson Hayes to retire Camacho. The 3rd time he's grounded out to 3rd tonight. And that one, more of a credit to the man at first, Jackson Hayes.
And just an excellent defensive play from the corner infielders. You know, Jack Ewert charging in on it and making a throw on the run, and then Jackson Hayes stretching on the back end. That's like Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, prime days in St. Louis type of stuff going on.
First pitch swinging for Schmelzer, and he pokes it foul on the first base side. The freshman catcher Kai Schmelzer has been aboard twice tonight. A walk in the 5th, scored a run, and then a single in the 6th that brought home a run. Scored Cameron Baker to make it a 7-6 game. Takes a fastball outside to even the count at 1-1. This has been quite the game. We are now over 3 hours since we started. First pitch at 4:36. We then delayed at 5:16 for 42 minutes before resuming at 5:58, and have played straight through for about the next 2 hours. Kai in the air to center field, but it's going to hang up in center for James Carlson, who gloves out number 2. And the T-Bolts down to their final out. It'll be Matthew Kim, who will try to keep him alive. He's 1 for 3 with a single in the 5th, but a pair of flyouts otherwise.
Well, of course, that break is not easy. It was 3/4 the way to an hour for a rain delay, so kind of throws off the rhythm, throws off the routine of things, makes things just a little bit different.
First pitch fastball against Matthew Kim misses away. Count 1-0. Weatherald wasting no time. The righty deals. It skips in the lefty batter's box for ball 2. A moderate breeze now rippling through Blair and into our booth, blowing straight in from left field. Weatherald comes home on a 2-0, and he drops it in for strike 1. Even after the delay, the T-Bolts did what they have done all year, which is refuse to quit. They were down 7-1 after a Josh Saronis grand slam, then scored the next 6 runs to tie it and get it to extras. And thanks to some great work by Emilio Rodriguez out of the bullpen, they hung in this one for the long haul. But Saronis with a big swing in the top of the 8th to give the Senators their 8-7 lead. T-Bolt's not dead yet. Kim works a 5-pitch walk, and it brings up the top of the order for the 5th time today. Gabriel Pagase with a chance to be a hero.
Yeah, it's a huge testament to the T-Bolts. They've scored 6 unanswered runs in this game. So the fact that they've hung in this well against, what was ranked as the 2nd best team in the Ripken League so far, it's a real testament to this group to hang in. And now got Gabe Pagase up. Really good guy to have at the plate in a situation like this.
First pitch strike to Pagase, the sophomore from the University of Lynchburg. He's been aboard twice today, including a triple in the 3rd. 10 extra base hits on the season for Gabe Pagase. He gets under it in the infield and should end the game. Cole Rame has it, and the Senators pull it out in 8 innings to defeat the Thunderbolts for the 2nd time this season.
Well, a really hard-fought battle between these two teams ultimately. And huge credit to the T-Bolts once again for sticking in it, not giving up the fight. They were down by 6 at one point in this ball game. So, hey, Josh Saronis, two big swings made all the difference in this game for Southern Maryland. And they, remain one of the best teams in the Ripken League. They're the best team out of the South. They currently lead that division. And despite that, the T-Bolts have played them quite well, which is a huge positive. And they've only lost by 1 run in 2 games against these guys. So I think for the T-Bolts, they can try and build upon that and, just have a few pitches back. That always seems to be the mulligan for this team. You cherry pick one moment or one pitch or one play that really alters the course of things. So with all that being said, it was a great game from the T-Bolts across the board. The offense popped off early in this game, and ultimately Southern Maryland's Josh Saronis just single-handedly carried them to the promised land.
8-7, a final score here at Montgomery Blair High School. Senators now 2-0 against the T-Bolts this season. And in this rainy mist, the visiting team was able to pull it out. Winning pitcher is Dawson Weatherald. Advances his record to 1-0. Wade Hartrick picks up the loss after giving up a solo shot to Josh Saronis in the top of the 8th inning that proved the difference. For Southern Maryland, it's 8 runs on 8 hits with 1 error. They left 6 men on base. Silver Spring Tacoma scoring 7 on 7 hits, committing no errors for the second straight game, and leaving 6 on the base paths. Time of the game is 3 hours 12, factoring in a 42-minute delay. You can subtract that to an even 2.5 hours. 8-7 your final score in extra innings. We needed 8 to decide it, but this game will close. And at 7:51, I think we're okay to announce that there will not be a second game in this doubleheader.
Yeah.
That's the word we've gotten. I think there's some deliberation happening as if they would try it, because Southern Maryland is hanging around in their dugout. They're not packing up. T-Bolts are waiting for a post-game chat from their coaching staff. I think the rain has held off enough that they're going to at least think about it. But, yeah, they're shaking hands now. That is going to do it on this evening. It was supposed to be a doubleheader, but we'll only get one in the books. And the Senators win their only game of the day, 8-7. They advance to 15-7, the second team in the Ripken League to reach 15 wins. For Silver Spring Tacoma, they dropped their 16th game of the year. They've now lost 8 of the last 10 and fall to 5-16. Patrick, a long one with that delay, but it will be the only one today. We thought we would get 2. We got 1. It was a good one, but it did not fall the T-Bolt's way. Any positives we can take away here as Silver Spring just performed so much better than the game last night, in a game that they really felt like they deserved to win?
Yeah, well, first of all, positive that even though this doubleheader is being called off, the T-Bolts are going to go to Southern Maryland for one more time later this season, so they can, you know, make it work there, whatever that's going to look like. T-Bolts be home team for one, and then, you know, the Southern Maryland Senators rightfully be the home team for the next game. But they're going to have to work that out. The logistics will have to be shifted through, but in terms of this game, Emilio Rodriguez just coming out, throwing 5 innings out of the bullpen, picking up, you know, Griffin Roussel on the mound. It was such a great performance, and I know that he gave up the grand slam, and not all the runs got tacked onto his, you know, stat line. But either way, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 9 Ks. On paper, you're going to walk away from that feeling really good, and I'm sure he walked away feeling great about his outing. I mean, just a new guy, new kid on the block, his second appearance of the year, already able to go 5 innings. It didn't take him a build-up process to get there. So the fact that he immediately came in and did a huge favor to the bullpen, I think was a huge positive, and just the fight overall from the T-Bolts. I've said it time and time again on how they're a team that got rolled over at the outset of this year. A lot of tough losses, but now they're a tough team to play, and not all of the wins that other teams racking up against them have come easy, which I think is a testament to this group, the mental side of the game, the fact that, you know, they're slowly coming out of things, they're still working through the motions, and, yeah, I think they are, you know, baseball's a repetitive game. You're going to wake up tomorrow and play another one, so that's pretty much the name of the game in baseball, and this group will be back at it very soon.
Again, Silver Spring doing a lot of things right, but they can't pull it out, dropping it to the Southern Maryland Senators 8-7. T-Bolts are back in action tomorrow, June 28th, for a 7 p.m. start time at Bethesda. That game against the Big Train from Shirley Povich Field. We'll bring you the coverage for that one. Back at home, Silver Spring will return to Blair on Tuesday for a 7 p.m. start time as they play host to the DC Grays. That'll do it for us up here in the booth. For my partner, Patrick Moran, and the social media guy and co-broadcaster Nick Ronholm, and our writer Sam Bergstrom, as long as everyone else that tuned in on this broadcast and made it possible. We want to say thank you for tuning in. Just one game today, and it was a fun one. Final score, Southern Maryland 8,